I don't know why I say that. I have to come up with something original. You know what I mean? I got nothing original.
Happy hump day to you.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that I put us through that. We're better than that.
Oh, jeez. I forgot to turn off my phone.
Angela.
I'm just as bad as Ryan Reynolds. Isn't that what they were saying, that he's difficult to work with because he...
Yeah, because his phone went off. And then people yelled at him. Who the fuck is that? Whose phone is that? It's me, the weird Canadian who tries to do his best Jim Carrey and somehow makes it his own.
Okay, I'm with you.
Welcome back.
So what's a better word for Wednesday?
Wednesday. I don't know. I just need to I probably have to do hey, welcome to Too Real Live. I'm Dale. That's Angela. I don't know.
Your best radio voice?
Yeah. Hey everyone, welcome to Too Real Live. Today we're covering the crazy story out about Epstein and Donald Trump. It's got everybody turning their heads.
That's perfect. Did you move your mic? Are you good?
I don't know. Yeah.
I can't ever tell if it's over there because you put it over there or because you
No,
forgot
listen. Hey.
Hey. You listen.
I run the show here.
You listen to me.
I run the technicalities here. Okay?
Hi, Delicate.
Delicate's here. Hi, Delicate. What's going on, friend?
Oh, man. So
yeah.
There's you know how we were talking yesterday about how some people think that Justin Baldoni's a narcissist?
Oh my God, there's so much talk about it.
Yeah, today everybody's talking about it.
I know. I feel so on the pulse.
Well, I actually don't think he's a narcissist. I think that's kind of like a fucked up word to just throw around all the time. I feel like it actually diminishes the effects of actual narcissist abuse. If you're like, oh, okay, my boyfriend is self-centered, that doesn't mean he's a fucking narcissist, you know? Like, that's an actual mental condition, you know?
Yeah. Well, there are varying degrees of, first of all,
mm-hmm.
I would probably, my guess is that there's probably a reasonable percentage shot that he does suffer from some kind of narcissistic personality disorder. I am an amateur and have no basis for diagnosis on anybody. I've obviously never met the man. I've never sat down and talked to him.
Yeah.
But there is such overwhelming evidence that everything had to revolve around him emotionally, that everybody had to take care of this guy. It was like everyone was either stepping on, rice paper around him, or he was in some kind of state. He spoke about, and we knew this when we talked about it when this sort of information first broke, about his emotional breakdowns on set and how he had to be consoled. I mean, you remember when we talked about that? That's in the same interview where he does Too Real. He talks about Too Real.
Yeah,
and he has
also,
that whole oh, it was awful.
He was doing press interviews that got published in different magazines. Like he did a Today Show interview that was on the Today Show website. I don't even know if he was on the show, but people are referencing that for him talking about how he was so emotionally overwhelmed by portraying the character of Ryle that he would take a long time to have to recover from it. Everybody's like, you're not Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. Well, and then also don't direct the movie.
Yeah.
Which is the other side of the problem that is that is at least in part what has led to this lawsuit, is and the reason I say that is because I can't help but wonder if he didn't have all of that all at once. He's incapable of handling all of that. I think that's self-evident.
I think that it's probably, he was probably in kind of a wonderland because he had this whole team around him who was constantly reflecting back to him how difficult it was.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like that's most of the time that we ever see him, he's soliciting, in these text messages that we have in evidence where he's talking to his prayer group, or even text messages in his work capacity where he's talking to his editors. He's constantly solicitous of their sympathy. It's got to be exhausting to deal with somebody like that, Everybody who works on a movie has burdens. If you're having to constantly console and coddle a man who's the boss, it's just fucking exhausting. I thought it was really interesting. This got posted again on Baldoni Files today.
Okay.
This isn't news. We've had these for a long time.
This just in.
No, but there's a text message thread that is between Jennifer Abel and her employees who are redacted. Okay. And they're bitching about him. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I do.
Jennifer Abel. This is dated January 14th, 2024.
I was 54. God,
Those were the days, huh? Those were the years.
man. Go ahead.
Jennifer Abel sends this to redacted names, said, he may fire us because even if we put together an amazing campaign, it's not going to change the fact that he's so unlikable and unrealistic as a leading man. There's no chemistry with him and Blake. You and I both know that she will be resistant to promote this movie, and press will be reluctant to do anything with Justin without Blake being a part of it. So those are my thoughts.
You know, one of the more interesting things about that is I've often said about the whole
There's more.
the whole premiere incident that, you know, it was about Blake Lively because Blake Lively is the star of the movie.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Sony recognizes that
But
if
this
you're going to have
guy-
a successful premiere, which is a marketing event, you got to put the stars because that's what people want to see.
Well, and this is the part but that's the part that drives me crazy about everything because he was trying to make the goddamn premiere about himself. That's why we got subjected to his basement lie, you know, his basement, you know, bullshit.
Right.
Because that's just about making it about him, about how the world is, you know, how he's the victim, and what that fucking was a waiting room for him to get to a theater with this fucking gang of
I feel
people
really
that he's
strongly
with.
that if Justin Baldoni ever could just take responsibility for the bad situation, whether it's his fault or not, but as a boss to just take all the lumps and deal with it as if he's the boss, none of this would have happened. I feel like most of the time when people are in a leadership role in a huge company, you know, where it's got like $1 million project on the line, they usually just like take shit on and like solve it, even if it's not their problem. I don't know why he's incapable of doing that. He's constantly deflecting and blaming. It wastes so much energy and so much time. And look at where it got him. Anyway, you want to hear the rest of this?
Yes, please.
So he said, so Jennifer Abel said, there's my thoughts. This person, so Jen Abel goes, it's so cringy. And then the next one, his face.
I mean, what did he think when he read these? Like, he's like paying these people.
I know, and they're shit
talking.
You paid people to improve your reputation, and this is what they think of you? This is how they're shit talking behind your back?
Yeah.
Okay, so this person responds to Jen Abel said, Blake was probably grossed out too. Jen Abel goes, yeah, and filed a cease and desist. They're like entertained by this. Okay, here's more. This is also, so same date. Jennifer Abel says, I can't stand him. He's so pompous. A men's retreat during release? Is he crazy? And being off the grid for the summer because he's so overwhelmed? Like, calm down. You're not that important and nobody gives a shit how hard your life is. She continues.
Do you see what I mean? Though, like,
he doesn't need
this is everybody's perception of this man.
Like, calm down.
Yeah, like, calm down. And like, because it's all about him. I need a retreat. It's just like, come on.
Then
Colleen Hoover gave me a spinal infection.
Oh my God. And then she continues, he doesn't need a retreat. He needs to be humbled. When this movie flops, he's going to try to blame every person around him for it.
And then it succeeded. I bet you, you know, it's so funny that she says that because if there was a sentiment around that the movie wasn't going to work, and there might have been, and if there was, it would help explain a little bit more about why he was so willing to go about it. Like if they thought they were heading into a disaster as opposed to a $340 million fucking box office smash. You know what I mean? Hindsight, bro. It's 2020. Like if they were heading into a, like, this is going to be a shitstorm.
Let it go.
So maybe he was like, no, but I'm saying like, maybe that's why, because we've asked ourselves like, why would he go after his own film? Why would he go after his main actress? And we know we did because we see the texts. They were before the premiere.
Right.
So we know he did. And so it just begs like the question, like, why would you do that?
I do
and then
think
if you think, well, this is going to be a fucking disaster and this is the reason why, this woman is the reason why in your mind, maybe that's the golden ticket.
I do really think he was just thinking about himself. I don't think he was thinking about the success of the project.
I mean, you're probably right.
I think he felt personally offended by the fact that somebody might speak badly of him, regardless of whether he may have some culpability in that perception of that person.
Yeah.
That he was just going to go on in attack mode. And unfortunately for him, he surrounded himself with people who stood to benefit financially for him going to war, right? So they're not going to tell him not to. They're going to fucking make a ton of money. Crazy. I just think that this text thread is relevant to the whole case.
Yes.
Because here we have, you know, he's been trying to paint Blake Lively as somebody who's difficult to work with. But these people do work with Justin, right?
Yeah.
And that evidently they think he's difficult to work with. They think they think poorly of him, and they think that he's like, you know, this fucking energy vampire or whatever, that he's constantly putting his burdens on everybody else, and he's like complaining all the time.
Yeah.
And like this is the opinion of women who work with him. So I don't know why this isn't relevant. If everybody's trying to frame Blake Lively as somebody who's difficult to work with or has a past, and where people are saying negative things about her, which I don't know how true that is, then we should also look at these. Because look, Jennifer Abel knows what it's like to work with Justin Baldoni.
Yeah, and this isn't new.
She has a negative opinion about him.
These aren't new texts. These texts were... we've read them a good long time ago.
Yeah, right. I just forgot about them because there's so much, dude. So much.
Let me answer a scientist, hello, by the way, asking how to get a hold of me in a non-public way. Hit me up at freedawnsplum, at Gmail. So freedawnsplum@gmail.com. And then obviously identify yourself so that I can know who you are, you know, versus the other guy or gal. Looking forward to hearing from you. I hope it's good news. He's a bizarre human being. He is a bizarre human being, and he has this incredible aura, like that people can. He's got this like a guru-y sort of aura about him that people buy into really quickly. And you know,
like a magnetism.
Yeah, like a magnet. I guess it's a magnetism. Yeah, it feels more like, you know, hypnotic than anything else, though, because people are so bizarrely in defense of him, and I'm like, okay, well, bots on the one hand, Baha'i faith on the other, but either way, not either way, on the Baha'i faith front, and I think I've run into a few of those people now, while pissing off like the whole sub of It Ends in Lawsuits, and I think I've pissed off a few of those people, a few of the Baha'i faith people, and man, the way they talk about him, it's really out there. It's really like Charlie Manson.
I know. It's really funny the way that some people, super religious people, will always, it's like, if they defend one of their like co-congregants' behavior, it's always like they're just like, well, actually, and then they go over to the shelf and they pull a book off the shelf and they open it up and they're like, they make their point this way instead of talking about the actual situation.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's like a lot of people are talking about how Blake Lively made sexual harassment complaints that weren't that serious. I'm like, you're missing the context completely. He's a boss. He's an employer.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
She's the employee.
It's the thing that drives me the most.
Changes everything.
Crazy. It's like, that doesn't matter. And by the way, this wouldn't have been a lawsuit if he hadn't retaliated. You know, that she knew the severity of her claims. She knew that they weren't, you know, egregious, that they were inappropriate, that they were insensitive, that they flew in the face, or they were antithetical to his persona. And that's why she probably wanted to make sure that she filed the complaints in the first place, so that there was a record of it, so that, you know, it could be known. You know, I've filed one HR complaint in my life, and the reason I did was because I wanted there to be a record of this man turning students against me.
Oh,
at the University of Georgia.
I was with you when that happened.
Yeah, he turned students against me at the University of Georgia, just in an absolute. It was so nuts. Mental breakdown. So
you're working in the same department with this other teacher, right? This other professor who's been there much longer than you. You're new there.
Yeah.
And he recommended you for the job, and you're like, you get to work. You're like, okay, this is really great. Well, it turns out that he has this extracurricular club of these students that is really exclusive. Like, apparently they have to, like, you know, sign in their own fucking blood or something like that to get into it. Like, I don't know why.
Maybe not that, but yes.
It's exclusive, right, for some reason. And then he gives them all like shirts and badges, and you're like part of this club. It's like he's trying to make it this elite thing. Well, it turns out that then he tries to when you disagree with him.
No. I hired him to be an editor. He told me, and then we had a meeting set up, which was going to be the initial meeting. I have a first-time director. It's going to be the initial meeting before we get into the edit, right? So I'm flying back from Los Angeles, and I'm on the phone with him, and I say, well, I'm on the phone with him, and I'm like, hey, we'll see you tomorrow in the meeting. He goes, no, I took you off the meeting. I said, what's that? Like, he's my fucking editor. I literally hired him. Yeah.
You're like, I'm sorry.
I literally hired him.
You excluded me?
And there's no chance I was not going to be in this director's. I was not going to let an editor take over the director, like, at all. 100%.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? He was a first-time director. Absolutely no fucking way on this earth was I going to let a first-time director walk in and get railroaded by
a guy who's railroading you.
By a guy who's now railroading me. I can't get it out of my mouth.
That's okay.
So anyway, that was the reason. Anyway, so he and then I got mad at him. I just said, hey, listen to me. Never ever in your life take me off of a meeting that has to do with this movie.
Yeah, I know.
Ever in your life.
I know your manner too. You're super cool about that. You're like, just so we're clear, like, I don't have beef with you. Everything's cool, but this is not something that's going to happen.
Yeah, when I was razor sharp about it, like 100%. I was like, I want you to know right now that this is unacceptable. You don't take me off of meetings, ever. I will be in that meeting.
See you tomorrow.
And that was it, man. He became a different person after that.
Yeah.
It was like it was night and day, and like. I'm talking like I had
this
probably
is what I think.
a year and a half relationship with him at that point.
I think that person was a narcissist.
His shit turned on a dime.
Because you can see whether somebody's actually a narcissist by the way that they behave when they've been like sort of corrected or challenged, you know?
It was fucking weird.
Like the woundedness is so angry. It's like, first of all, you're not supposed to be wounded by that at all. You're supposed to just like move on with your life because you're a professional, you know? Who cares?
I'll write about that. But I'll write about that story one day. I will.
But that he held a grudge and that he tried to punish you for it makes me very convinced that he was actually a narcissist. And the way that he had this group of of students that he sort of like enjoyed lording over, you know, deeming worthy of being part of his club. I was like, that's narcissistic. These people are interesting, man.
What? Our scientist is saying Lively's motion to dismiss against Wallace in Texas was just granted because of the Texas court lacked jurisdiction. Where'd you get that? I want to see that. I want to know more about that.
Yes, that makes sense. The Texas court lacks jurisdiction to sue Lively because she has absolutely no connection with Texas. No. So it was foolish of him to. He
filed in Texas.
He filed in Texas, and he's not supposed to do that.
Well, but what's that? That's wonderful because it feels like that sets a bit of a precedent now for her to drag his ass into California and whoop it.
No, she can sue him in Texas. I think that.
No, I'm saying like
because he lives there.
Yeah, no, I know. I realize
he can't sue her because she
doesn't.
I
understand what happened. Yeah, I get the transition now.
That's really interesting. Thanks, scientist. I didn't know that detail today.
Yeah, that's cool. It ends with this lawsuit is going to get very normal for the next little while.
Yeah, they're going to react normally about that, I'm sure.
Well, I'll tell you, the whole thing has been interesting. Like I was saying, Brian Friedman's interview on TMZ, he was just tame, bro. Dude was tame as fuck. He was nothing of the sort of, what was it? I guess he was, the hubris that he used to display in some of these interviews that I've seen him in the past. None of that was there. It is very clear. They added another lawyer today too, on their team.
So expensive.
Whew. And I gotta say, like, why are you adding more lawyers? Like, you're defending. So it's just a weird thing.
Trying whatever works.
Why are you adding more lawyers?
That's really weird. It's weird that a lawyer would sign on to a losing case, because they're not going to win. I mean, come on.
No, our scientist said it happened as we went live. Dude, up to the fucking second. I love it. Thank you so much for keeping us up. That's dope.
Delicate said, I'm annoyed with a Swiftie group chat that has turned into Blake hater chat. And Stacey R said, I'd be annoyed too. I'm in so many Swiftie groups, and some of these fans just don't get it.
So there's a lot of Swifties who have turned on Blake.
Yes.
Or just even if they have no opinion.
I mean, remember, like they're paying an extra $5,000 a month so that the publicist can attack Swifties. So I'm not sure that any of that is organic. They said that part of their social combat plan, which is like just an insane way to call something when you want to be secretive. Well, they're like
covert operations.
They're like absolutely without any fingerprints, like untraceable, but you guys are calling it a social combat plan. Okay. They said that one of the things that they do is they go into pro Lively spaces and then they confuse everybody and like sow division there. So it could be that they're targeting those groups deliberately.
Well, I'm sure they are, but look, that's not going to sway Taylor Swift. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Taylor Swift's not going to like, uh-oh.
The fans have turned.
There's some fans that are turning on Blake Lively. I guess we ought to turn, They belong to her, not the other way around.
Speaking of the fans, Dale wanted we were gonna watch something today, and you said that we should put on Kpop Demon Hunters.
Well, we were in Netflix, and there was the 1, 2, 3s, 4, 5, 6ers, and that was number 3. And I was like, let's watch K-pop Demon Hunter because it came up in something else that I was looking at. I was like, oh fuck, let's watch it. You know, so random. I would never watch this ever. There's no chance I would just click on this randomly.
Yeah,
so
it was
I thought,
like, well, this is for kids, so if this sucks, we'll turn it off.
yeah, exactly. It was like this could be an easy thing to turn off, and I did not turn it off.
We were captivated.
I loved it. I fucking loved it.
5 minutes in, I was like, oh, I get why this is like a smash hit and everybody's talking
For
about
sure.
it.
It's so cool. The pop music's badass. The characters are fucking
Everything
hilarious.
was perfect.
Fucking acting's superb. The animation's badass. It's just a fucking great piece, man.
Yep.
And it felt fresh, you know, even if it's not, it felt fresh, you know, it felt, it was just a good fucking time. I had a romp. It's been a long time since I watched an animation that I was actually interested in from top to bottom. And I just totally was. Did not expect it. Think the Koreans kick ass.
How many tiny pineapples did you give it? 4?
4? Yeah, I give it 4
out of 5.
tiny pineapples. Absolutely. I mean, there was like, you know, there's some holes. There were some holes in the animation, I felt like. And I can't be, you know, particularly specific with you about that, but a little bit of holes in some of the characters or whatever, just like little bits and pieces. But I think, you know, for me to give 4 tiny pineapples to, you know, to an animation is, especially a modern animation, for me, they really became very much like the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
They're just different packages, but the same kind of story, same kind of like, you know, heartache and separation and, you know, like the whole hero's journey, you know, just kind of pretty, and, you know, that's not necessarily fair because I stopped watching them. So, you know, maybe there are great ones. Like I never saw Frozen and I never saw Up. Is that what they call it?
You never saw Up?
I don't think I did. I might.
We got to fix this. We got to show you all of these. They're really delightful. Did you ever watch the Toy Stories?
Yeah, I watched the Toy Story. See, that's what I'm talking about. Because like Toy Story to me was like, it was good. It was good. It was good. The first one was good.
They just revealed like the first teaser for the newest one, Toy Story 5.
Wow.
Well, listen, it's
my
actually
lawn chair out.
it's really clever because the toys are experiencing an existential threat in this one.
Well, why? 'Cause
The villain,
Housefire?
the villain is an iPad. So the parents bring an iPad home, and all the toys are like freaking out because they're like, "Oh my god, nobody's gonna play with us anymore because they got these screen kids."
Is the next Pinocchio going to be AI, an AI puppet?
No, they can't
He won't
because he
have
has to
made
be
him.
a real boy. He wants to be a real boy. He can't be AI.
Erica's here. What's up?
Oh, wait,
Erica?
maybe that's perfect. Maybe he has to be AI so that he can be a real boy. Maybe he doesn't want to be AI. Okay, we just that's a $1 million idea.
Just cracked it open. Pinocchio. Donald Trump. So here's the thing. Here's how crazy this gets and how fucking evil this whole the darkest of dark clouds above this stuff. This is the underbelly of America like fucking nothing else, bro. And Virginia Giuffre was there right in the fucking middle of it. It is darkness beyond darkness. It is evil incarnate. It is the stuff where, you know, in movies you see a bunch of tiki or torches, torches
With
and
the
people
hoods.
walking and the hoods and moving into with blood and song. Omi song.
I know. Don't do it.
Fucking bad shit.
It's just
Bad shit.
yeah. It's funny when some things get exposed and you're like, oh, the conspiracy theorists were right.
Yeah, exactly. This is so
That's
dark.
crazy.
This whole thing is so fucking dark.
Oh, they are evil. Wow.
Let me explain why it gets so dark. Because today, you know, I think most people have heard that the Democrats have released some evidence out of the 23,000 documents that they got on Epstein. This not the Epstein files.
Right.
This is just other stuff. And in those documents, what they uncovered was that Donald Trump, according to Epstein in an email, talking to another person, spent multiple hours alone with an underage girl on one of the Epstein properties. Chilling.
You don't have to say underage girl. You can say child because that's what an underage girl is.
I'm just saying what it said.
Underage is child.
I mean, you know,
children.
I'll say that.
It's like
you say that.
comparing
we
a
can
kid
be-
to an adult rather than comparing the adult to the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a little language trick that kind of makes it a little bit more innocent than it is. It is not innocent. That is a child.
I don't think there's anything innocent about spending a grown older man alone in a room with an underage girl. That doesn't sound innocent to me whatsoever.
That's true.
So
I just hate. I have a little bone to pick with underage. That is as a word. I'm like, you mean a kid or not?
well, we don't know how old this person is. If now, so let me finish the story. So they have. so this breaks that, this story about Donald Trump. And the White House responds.
They do?
Yeah.
What?
And he says that it was Virginia Giuffre.
They said that?
The deceased girl.
They said that?
Yeah. They said Donald Trump is saying it was Virginia that he's with. The only two people who knew who he was with, other than the girl herself,
are dead.
Where is she? We don't know.
Yeah.
They're dead. So they have to shut up one girl, right? They have to shut up one person.
That doesn't make him sound any more innocent.
Well, let me say that absolutely. So, like in her book, in Virginia's
it's making
book,
me uncomfortable.
in Virginia's book, I didn't read anything about Donald Trump beyond Mr. Trump and Mar-a-Lago when she started there.
Yeah.
But on all of her stuff, she spoke about spending extended periods of time with men to whom she was trafficked, as she put it, and a multiple hour. Like,
it was just a meeting, dude. He was just helping her with her math homework. He's a businessman. He's good at math.
Multiple hours with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
In a room alone. It was not Virginia Giuffre. It was not her. It was not her. Unless he already paid her to shut up about it, which is entirely possible.
I think you have to sort of pad your language with you think or you believe or.
These are my opinions.
Because you don't know these things.
And I'm entitled to them. I know nothing.
Yeah. You're making an assumption.
Yeah, I don't know anything. Everybody knows that.
It's freaky.
I'm Dale Wheatley, the unknowing. It's not Virginia Giuffre, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
I don't think she would not. I think she would have mentioned it. I think there would have been some word for, because if Donald Trump, it's not like he's like, oh yeah, it was Virginia. I had a 2-hour nap. She was watching cartoons. Like, that's not what happened, right? So something was going on. There was an interaction between Donald Trump and the girl in the room for 2 hours. This is a reasonable assumption.
Okay, but can I just ask, like, what do you think about the fact that they didn't deny it?
Okay, but they didn't.
I know.
I think it's very telling.
I just want to talk about it.
But before we do, if they're not going to talk to her, if we know that there's going to be an interaction, then if it was Virginia Giuffre, it's going to be one of two kinds of interactions. And both of these types of interactions are on display in her book. One of them is the sexual nature one, right? The one where she's being used by these men, the behest of her boss, Jeffrey Epstein, right? Her captor, I guess. Or two, Donald Trump, much like Epstein's chef, was being a good guy. He was giving her good advice. He was, mentoring her in some way. Now, I can understand why she would keep the first one out for fear, right? Because Donald Trump was president at the time she wrote her book.
Yeah.
And, was writing her book and president of the United States. I mean, she's fucking with royalty, so I don't know. I'm not sure. She saw what Stormy Daniels did. She saw what E. Jean Carroll did. So it's not like there wasn't a platform for her to be somewhat safe in terms of, so I don't know. So what I'm doing is I'm just saying, like, you take what's there. He's going to take what's there. His statement, because he's trying to hide behind a dead girl. Donald Trump. He's trying to hide behind a dead girl.
Yeah, but I'm so surprised that he is admitting that the statement is true.
Well, I think
this is in regards to an email that was sent where somebody is describing this to somebody else. Neither of the people, either
Jeffrey Epstein, he could have said he's lying.
Listen, the sender and the recipient of the email weren't firsthand witnesses who were saying, I was in the room or whatever.
I think the person to whom the email was sent is living. I think that there is a witness to this email. I think that's
but that still doesn't mean it's true. I'm really surprised they didn't deny it, because it could be that they're like, okay, where's the evidence? Like, I don't believe this person knows what they're talking about, and they're lying about this. I don't know why they lied, because the man's dead. We can't tell. It's just really strange that they would admit it. Don't you think? What's the strategy there? I'm curious about, like, what you think about why they're just.
I don't know that they have a strategy. I think they got caught. I think that
another thing too is that I think about, it's a little bit chilling. I'm like, if they're not denying it, then that's because they believe there will be no consequences. and they just literally don't care.
Well, there aren't
if
going to be any
everybody knows this
consequences.
about
We
them.
know that. What kind of consequences would there be? What kind of consequences do you think could arise from an Epstein email that puts Donald Trump in a closed room with an underage girl for multiple hours?
I mean, there used to be a time where I could answer that question with a list of potential consequences, but it seems like we've tried a lot of those things and nothing stuck. He's like Teflon.
Yeah. So if there are no consequences, then
yeah, you should just admit it.
well, if there are no consequences, then I think that it does change, the game. It's bizarre to me. I don't understand why he wouldn't have just said, "No way, that didn't happen."
I know.
What
does it mean?
He is trying to set me up because I shunned him from Mar-a-Lago. That's all I would have said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even a fucking liar, and I would have figured that one out in a minute.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I used to be a liar. I was a kid.
Mateo said Trump loses the next midterm.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I don't think there's going to be a midterm.
Well, look,
everybody's planning for that.
I appreciate that sentiment. I hope you're completely wrong with that. I hope other people aren't thinking what you're thinking. I really don't. I want people to think what Mateo is thinking. I want people to be like believing that they can go out and vote and make a difference. I get really nervous about that attitude because I feel like that attitude is the kind of attitude that could just keep people on their couches. People who are already doubting the system or on the verge of just saying dropping off because there's no point. These are the people. This is how they win. They win by us believing that we don't make a difference in the midterms or whatever. They're going to have elections. We're seeing them now. If they were going to be blocking elections, or if they were going to try to swing them,
they're going to have elections
doing it right
but
now.
I'm just assuming they're going to be like Russia style, where like they have elections, but the tabulation is the part that isn't correct.
They had a
it's at the tabulation level
that
it gets interfered with.
They had a red state and a blue candidate that won, so maybe the interference isn't going to be as easy as we might think it is because of the way this last election went. So, because we do see that congressional seat was the one seat that was going to force the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. And that is going to happen now. That letter to the Justice Department is going to happen. That signature is coming tomorrow. Tomorrow. It happens.
Isn't it weird? They're just letting it go on. I mean, I understand that there's a lot of people that think that the government shutdown was to prevent this from happening.
Well, they couldn't. They know that, but all they could do is delay it. The government shutdown was definitely to get their way.
I think it's just got to be that like the people who are about to be exposed are assured that there's going to be no consequences whatsoever, and that's why it's not being fought more. Do you hear those sirens?
Yeah.
It's like kind of a soundtrack to this conversation. I was like feeling kind of tense, and then the siren started, and I'm like, oh God, it's worse.
I believe look, my faith is in these midterms. They're critical to us. So
yeah, cosmic urgency.
You don't think I do you?
No, wait, listen. Cosmic urgency said, don't underestimate Democrats' ability to fumble.
I don't think I don't. I do. I know exactly what we're capable of. I say we because it's so weird because you get forced to be one or the other. You can't really truly be independent.
No,
being independent is foolish.
I thought for a long time that it was ineptitude, and now I'm convinced it's complicity.
I would
come on.
Like independence is ridiculous. A third party wouldn't be. Like the establishment of a true third party would be fucking incredible. And it would have to break off in spectacular fashion. It would have to be this, crossing of the aisle, and so you get this. And we have it in Canada, the New Democratic Party, the NDPs. So we have the Conservatives. How
does it work? Do they get elected?
Yeah, they get elected. They haven't had a lot of success at the federal level of running the country. So the Canadians are still fairly traditional in voting either Conservative or Liberal.
Yeah.
But they have had a couple of prime ministers, I think, at least one. I haven't lived there for 30 years, what I'm saying? So it's been a few elections. But right now the Liberals are in and have been in for a long time. Anyway, I'm not going to underestimate the Democrats' ability to fumble. It's all we see, and a part of that fumble, in my view, isn't actually a fumble. I think they're smarter than that. I think what we see there is corruption.
Yeah,
on both sides. I think there's this billionaire booze guy lives around us, and he's notorious because he donates the same amount, and it's a large amount, to both candidates in every race. He never misses. Same amount, both candidates. And the message is clear. I will be in your pocket. You will have me financially supporting you. Whatever you do, just leave my booze alone. So, you know.
He's got a monopoly he wants to keep.
Yeah. So anyway, you know, I'm going to be reasonably optimistic because of what we saw in these elections. These elections were very powerful. We got, we took a seat in Congress. You know, we have a true social democrat in New York in a major market. I mean, you know, arguably, you know, the second most major market, the most major market in America. So that's just major. That's major progress, and so you know, up against the establishment, and so when you think about the Democrats' ability to fumble, that to me really is the establishment. You know, more, and I'm not saying that, you know, look, I mean, fuck mistakes and whatever, but the establishment. And so yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm going to be optimistic about it because I'm living here, man. This place is my heartbeat, and I want so much for the goodness of America to prevail. It's the goodness of America that I fell in love with, the one that I dreamt about becoming a part of, the one that I'm proud to be a part of. You know, I want that America again. I know it's out there, even if it was only a sliver of it, even if it was only just edging out the darkness, I still want it to win, you know? And I know that a part of that is also getting the establishment out. And fortunately, the regular cycle of life is helping us out there because these guys don't let go of their seats till they die, and they are dying, you know. And it's not like saying anything bad about it. They're just old people dying.
Laugh. It's not funny.
They're just fucking old people dying, you know. So I'm genuinely optimistic about it. I think Matteo is, you know, I think there's very much reason to believe in Matteo's statement that he loses the midterms. I think they think they're going to lose.
Matteo
the midterms.
was saying as a possible consequence that would be a consequence.
Well, I'll tell you here's my conspiracy theory on this whole thing. They want the Epstein files out because even the right want Donald Trump out because Donald Trump doesn't have a future.
Oh, so you think that
Speaker
he's going to be
Johnson,
expelled as a result of these files, and that's exactly what they want because they're done with him and they want to move on from Trumpism.
Speaker Johnson has already said Donald Trump can't run, right? So Donald Trump knows that he's got at least one branch of government that's going to be like, no, and that's the branch of government that's going to matter the most, really. So it's a wrap on that. He knows he's not going to be able to run.
It's true. They want somebody who's competent in there.
So let me finish what I'm trying to say.
He also is like, he always runs his mouth and fucking gets himself in trouble too. They don't need somebody like that.
He's going to be so old, it's going to be ridiculous anyway.
Right.
The point is that the point I'm trying to make is that they know he's not going to be able to run in 28, and they see the damage he's done in 1 year. They know the damage he's doing to the party. They know the damage he's doing to their allies. That they, you know, there were people. I'm sure there were countries out there that preferred working with conservatives rather than working with, you know, working with Democrats, and those relationships are severely damaged. You see?
Yeah.
So I think that, so just to sum it up a little bit, is so my conspiracy theory is they want the Epstein files out. They're going to get him impeached. They're going to remove him from office, and then they're going to put Vance in, and they're going to right some of these ships. They're going to try to bring in some of that middle that they're losing rapidly, and draw in what will be eventually a closer election in 28, or even one that they could possibly steal, for a candidate that can go for 2 more terms.
That's right.
Because, you know, I don't think that that him getting sworn in would count as a first term or a whole term. So I don't know what that is constitutionally. That's a question for somebody who's more involved and understands more about that particular part of the Constitution or the Constitution in general.
The reason why I'm kind of with you on this conspiracy theory is that I remember when nobody wanted Biden to be the fucking nominee. No. They just kind of forced it on us.
He said he was a one-term fucking president.
No, I know. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about this time. I'm talking about the first time.
Oh, yeah.
He was kind of forced onto us, and I remember that there was like somebody had taken a secret video at one of his like fundraising, like he was talking to all his like mega donors, and he was telling them, he was reassuring these like super wealthy elite class people. He was like, nothing fundamentally will change.
Oh, you
As a
fucker.
result of my presidency, do not worry, you're secure. Nothing fundamentally will change. And I remember that was like a dagger in the heart because I was like, but everything needs to change. You have to change
That's why we
things.
wanted Bernie.
I'm only voting for this side because I want things to change. The conservative movement wants things not to change. You should be wanting change. Anyway, so that disappointment was assured from the start. But I've thought about that for a really long time because these guys know how to assure the ruling class. And I feel like Trump has just fundamentally changed so much, and everything is in turmoil, and all these relationships have been completely like upended. It's total change. It's really chaotic.
Chaos.
No, I don't think
He's
that
tearing down
I don't
the
think the
White
ruling
House.
class wants chaos. They want to keep exploiting everybody just the way that they've been.
Yeah.
Everything has been fine. You know, it's been working for them.
I mean, they want the the deregs and
Yeah, of course.
but they don't want these tariffs.
No, they don't want any of this
They don't
shit.
want to be screwing the farmers.
Also, they're
the
like
farmers,
civil unrest. Like, we don't need this.
The
Like,
farmers were a fucking GOP staple. That was like the farmers, the agricultural, American agricultural society was like always red as fucking red goes.
No, I know, but let me finish. I was just talking.
They ain't
about,
anymore.
Like the elite ruling class got to where they were in this like consolidated authority and power because of the last 30 years of dealing with people like Joe Biden. So here Trump comes along and he fucking ruins everything.
Right.
And now there's like, the potential for real civil unrest, and people are like, the middle class is like, hey, I can't feed my fucking kids anymore. Like all this, everything's fucked up.
Yep.
And so I feel like I'm with you. I feel like they probably want him out of the game too. They're like, congratulations, your insanity got you elected. Now we're done with you. We would like to continue on with somebody who like has messaging discipline,
More specifically,
or like
more
can at
specifically-
least like keep relationships.
Yeah, I mean, more specifically, I think it's that he's done so much damage in this first year. Like, I think that's what happened. I think they would have gladly, kept him there if he kept everybody on their side where they needed them to get a 28 candidate up and running and possibly elected with his endorsement. The problem is that he's burning down both houses.
Yeah,
he
it's
doesn't
true.
care. He's being
doesn't care.
ruthless. He's looting the American people.
So you think he'll be disposed of?
I think we could be looking at a situation where, listen, if the Epstein files gets released and there is irrefutable proof or enough proof that he is a PDF file, then I think that I think it's absolutely going to happen. I don't think that anybody is going to be okay. I think he loses everybody. If it comes out and it's clear that this dude was messing with children.
It's true. That's like
it's a wrap.
That's the main cause for the like QAnon movement. Like
They're
that's
not
the thing
gonna
they care about.
I mean,
most.
and thank God, for fuck's sakes, at least there's some line drawn. For fuck's sake, it took all the way to that to wake them the fuck up.
Nothing else matters.
Like he's fucking graping women and he's grabbing them by their fucking crotches. That's all good. Finally, if it happens, it will be like a miracle. Oh my God, something he could do that you could finally find reprehensible besides actually having horns spring out from his fucking forehead.
Austin is making a really great recommendation. I recommend this too. There's a movie called The Death of Stalin. And it's apparently, do you remember there was like a couple weeks where we were all convinced that Donald Trump had died and that they weren't telling us?
Yeah, it was exciting.
Everybody
I'm not
kept
gonna lie.
sharing the scenes from The Death of Stalin. And it's like
Yeah.
it's a comedy movie about the leader dies and they don't know what to do.
You're like, well, shit.
We should watch that.
They
this
propped
weekend.
FDR up.
Yes. That's the thing is like, so there was
They knew he was going to die in the second term,
there
bro.
was
They
a-
propped him up to win that fucking White House.
There was a
and let him
presidential
die in it.
historian the presidential historian was telling everybody during those like couple weeks where we were sure that he'd kick the bucket. She was like, one thing is certain that we know from history is that if there's any like wound or ailment or anything happening to the president in the White House, nobody's going to know. They're going to cover that up for sure. That's not something like everybody was talking about how we're entitled to know. And she was like, doesn't matter, guys. They're going to lie to you.
It's true. They're not going to tell you anything. They're going to tell you what they want to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a certain amount of time that they'll be able to get away with it, obviously. And I still think that he had some kind of a medical event.
Stacey R says, I'm going to be reasonably optimistic too. I'm a precinct leader for Democrats in my city in Ohio. We have so much work to do. It's keeping me sane. That is actually...
Thank you for everything, by the way.
That is the best way to use your efforts. Getting involved in local politics is going to make the most difference in your community. All of this, like, presidential politics doesn't really fucking matter on the community level. I learned so much about it. We moved here and I started writing ads for a progressive DA, district attorney. And I learned so much about how absolutely crucial that job is. If you're in a county that elects their district attorney, you got to get involved. Because no matter what kind of like hellscape the federal government wants to create for everybody, it's the district attorney that's like the last line of defense. Like they can choose when to prosecute somebody for some bullshit or not, you know? If you have somebody that's really community minded and not just trying to punish everybody for every little thing, it makes a fucking huge difference on everybody's quality of life.
I was just thinking about how we're so COVID conscious, and somebody came to talk about a candidate for something, and they came to our door, and I think we had this little curtain between, you know, that for a window.
We like peeped out the window.
And
what?
Yeah, and I just like, what's up? And he's like talking through the glass. He's like, hey, I'm here about candidate blah 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 for seat da da da, and I'm like, put it in the mailbox, buddy. And he's like, okay, I'll do that. Thank you very much. It was just like funny to just like what they have to deal with on a regular basis or whatever. But I'm like, it's so funny because like my poor neighbor, I have this great neighbor. Oh, I fucking love him. I do. He's a wonderful guy. His name is McClintock. That's all I'll say about him.
He has a very, very tidy landscaping.
Best last name, McClintock. As soon as I met him, I was like, that's going in the book or something. Yeah. I love your name. And, but you know, I wear a mask. And so like, if I'm out walking a dog or something, and then he's like, hey, Dale, and I don't have a mask, I'm like, hey.
You like back up?
Hey, dude. How's things? Things are good. Okay.
You're like trying to keep social distance and everybody's forgotten what that means.
He was like, fuck, I told him I wrote a book, dude. That guy went to the bookstore. He ordered it from a bookstore, which is a really great.
Instead of just asking you for a copy.
Yeah. He said, I told him, I'll get you a copy. He's like, I'm going to go get a copy. I was like, no, I'll get you. I'm going to go buy a copy. He said, and he did faster than anyone in my family.
He's like a coach type, like that encouraging uncle, you know?
He's just a great guy.
He like shows up at
but
all
that
your
like
practices.
mask thing just like separates us. It's terrible. He was like, come over for a beer. And I was like, and drink it how?
Yeah.
Even though I don't drink beer anymore.
Yep.
I'm beer free. Anyway, enough about McClintock. He's a good dude. I like him. I hope he's well. I hope his family is happy. I wish him everything.
There's a lot of activism happening with the mask blocks, by the way. There's these groups of people who are getting, that all started in 2020, where they were like making sure that people in the community who couldn't afford masks could get masks.
Yeah.
And so the networks that they've created in every city that they operate in has been another great mutual aid network for anything. Right. So there's a lot of these people who are like really great at helping people in the community. It's a wonderful way to be politically active and to help people, even if you're, you know, not crazy about masks. People are doing stuff, man. I think it's just we all have to learn how to get local after like 20 years. Some of our lives entirely have been spent completely separated from our neighbors. Like, I am not an extrovert, so I could never be like a community organizer.
Oh, shucks.
Hopefully somebody just finds us.
Hello?
So then I'll be helpful.
Is there anybody in there? Well, anyway, it's a pretty crazy world we're living in. The narrative in this world is so absolutely crazy. You want to hear another crazy bombshell? So this poor kid playing for the Dallas Cowboys, he takes his own life. It's tragic.
Last week, right?
Yeah, 24 years old, third round pick. He had a fucking incredible future ahead of him. Days before taking his own life, he scored a touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys in a really dramatic and awesome way, that, you know, real crowd pleasing way.
Yeah.
So the crowd was crazy for him, and anyway, he takes his own life. It's absolute tragedy. And today I found out that his fucking girlfriend is pregnant, bro. Pregnant.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
That is a lot to carry.
It's a lot for the baby to go through. Obviously, a lot for her to go through. I mean, just a tremendous, terrible burden. And then just all through this whole pregnancy, going through that alone. Like, it's just like, dude, it's a Lonergan
Yeah.
It's like a Lonergan thing. Like you can just like, this is one of those moments that you can, if you're the kind of writer, I'm the kind of writer, I could write a story
No,
like
it's so interesting too, because you can think about his family really like not targeting, that's the wrong word, but like really focusing a ton of attention on the mother because that's the connection that they have.
and it getting weird. And like, there's just so
Yeah.
many different ways you can build tension around that kind of a story. I know that might sound cold, but that's just the way my brain works. I'm immediately like, I just immediately like turn it into a story because you can't believe this as a circumstance. And then like I immediately, I told you about how I came up with Never Say Goodbye, the story about the old man who knocks his head and all of a sudden his narcoleptic waitress is speaking in the voice of his dead lover from decades before. And I got that idea, listening to a song that, hit hard, Last Kiss, covered by Pearl Jam in 98, I think it was. And, this is just another instance where I immediately like heard this story and I immediately just wanted to live the whole 9 months with her, as a fly on the wall. I wanted to see every emotional situation and every stress and tension and just every part of it because I'm already immediately fascinated with this journey that is certainly so despicably difficult. And I really wish she wasn't going through it. Like my heart is, absolutely torn for her. And also my creative curiosity is peaking. Like, I mean, peaking. Immediately as I read that, I was like, I just started imagining like these things you're talking about, these tensions and these like obstacles and then the actual birth, I mean, it's so epic in every possible way with, just all on the press on this. And like, cause there's roads you go down. Like, is she going to like find a way to sort of really reconcile with her feelings and so that she can feed these positive feelings to the child?
Yeah, what sucks most of all
wild.
is that now it's like it's all wrapped up in this big tension instead of just being like she doesn't, how like you often say about your movie that people can't just watch your movie without thinking about all of the controversy.
Right.
Well, so she's not going to get to have a normal pregnancy. And she's
No.
not going to get to like have a kid and have it be
Or a
normal.
normal relationship. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, like she doesn't have the opportunity now anymore. And that sucks for her.
It's a crazy scenario. It's an absolutely crazy scenario. It's unimaginable, And then also, like, was it hereditary? Would be like my immediate fear. Is this depression hereditary? Because it can be.
Mm-hmm. That's heavy, bro.
Super heavy.
Are we gonna just talk about heavy shit?
Well, hey, sometimes things go down. Okay, here's something a little lighter. James Cameron's Avatar, Fire and Ash. Isn't that kind of a stupid title? Fire and Ash. Like, is there fire with that? I guess it's like burning gas. Has an official runtime of 3 hours and 15 fucking minutes.
Everybody's making long movies now.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments was like, 3 hours and 15 fucking minutes. Why aren't the theaters waking up to the opportunity of an intermission? Why haven't they woken up to the go take a fucking leak and buy some of these fucking goods and goodies because it's time for a snack when we used to go see double
because
features.
you're fucking hungry after a 3-hour movie.
Because they can't get out of their fucking past. Like this guy's like innovating theaters in a fucking comet because and also it would innovate filmmaking because the truth is that we see this appetite for longer narrative. People are binging series.
Yeah.
If we as filmmakers could drop a 4-hour fucking movie on them, if they're willing to take a 15-minute intermission or say a 3.5-hour meeting. I mean, Scorsese's doable with an intermission.
We have intermissions.
We fucking have them.
At our house, when we watch
do.
movies, we always intermission.
Yeah, I have a little fucking...
You're really good at timing them too, because you have a really, as a writer, you have such a great sense for the story beats.
Yeah.
So when it's the midpoint, and a lot of times you'll be like, now's the time for the intermission, and we'll click it, and then like the timeline is exactly
and we're just like sitting right
in the very middle of the bar.
It's true. It really does happen quite often. Oh, God. Okay, so here's some creepy news. I've got to share this with you guys. In fact, maybe I'll even put it on the screen for you because it's that nuts. Let me see. Well, I guess I won't just because I can't redact the person's name, and I guess I probably should.
Right.
It ends in lawsuits.
Okay.
A poster. It's one of the most upvoted posts I've ever seen, even with my downvote. It's one of the most upvoted posts I've seen on It Ends with Lawsuits. And it says, and I just love this because it also encompasses what I believe to be, evidence of, a fracture coming in this pro Baldoni lawsuit. An open letter to the Wayfarer parties. Win, lose, or draw, we stand with you. And it's a slideshow. God, it is some kind of stupid. Let me just, let me do this real quick.
It's a slideshow?
It's a slideshow.
Okay, well, you don't have to show that to us. What,
no, I'm not going to show you the slideshow. I'm going to read it to you because it's so unhinged, and this is a part of my show tonight that I planned. All right, here we go.
It's just pictures.
It starts with it looks like
Everybody
almost
hugging?
like a really plain invitation to somebody's graduation.
I don't understand. Why did you want to redact anybody's name? You should say who you're reading. They put it on the internet.
I think there can be an issue with that. I'm just going to go with my gut here, and I'm just going to read it for you, okay? Because it's not much to see anyway.
I would want credit if somebody on YouTube was talking about my content.
Okay, well, I'll make sure I credit you if I do.
Okay.
An open letter to the Wayfarer parties. Win, lose, or draw, we stand with you. An open letter to the Wayfarer parties and team. Sorry. Win, lose, or draw, we stand with you. Thank you for showing us that there are good people out there who want to change the world for the better. Okay. Second paragraph. While we can't imagine the toll this has taken on you and your loved ones, we hope our support has been a light in the darkness. This is just so unhinged. They think
who's we and our?
They're speaking on behalf of everybody in this sub. I'm in this sub. I'm offended by this.
Yeah.
Next page. Win, lose, or draw, you do not face this storm alone. We are here. We are many, and we stand with you. Next paragraph.
Win, lose, or draw is really funny too.
Oh, I just fucking...
There's most certainly not going to be a draw.
It's like somebody's peeling my skin with like a fucking potato peeler. Okay. Your courage has broken the illusion that some forces are untouchable and given hope to so many by showing that truth and goodness will not be silenced. Well, it should have been. See, because the law says, shut the fuck up. Next paragraph.
It's also like this isn't God. Like they're making her into like fucking Lord Sauron or something. Like she's like all the forces of evil. Like, dude, he had a fucking...
Dude, he
had a workplace conflict
she's more
that
powerful,
he could have solved.
She's more powerful.
And he fucking didn't. And so now he's being sued. Like, that's the story.
She's more powerful than the New York Times. She's more powerful than William Morris. She's more powerful than Sony Studios. She's more powerful than all of fucking Hollywood. She's more powerful than Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was under her fucking spell. Anyway, next paragraph. To your legal team. Your commitment to fighting for justice has been Your commitment, I don't know this, I apologize because this doesn't make sense actually. To your legal team. To your legal team. They're speaking to them. Your commitment to fighting for justice has been a privilege to follow. This obviously coming from a layman. Like absolutely nobody in the legal world has been
other than
the entertainment.
I wouldn't call it a privilege, but it's been kind of fun to follow.
To Wayfair supporters, it's been heartwarming to see how many people out there will still recognize good and are willing to stand by it. It's like I recognize good. Can you imagine recognizing good and not willing to stand by it? It's like I recognize that's good, but I can't stand beside that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like every Woody Allen movie. I'm like, yeah, he's good. He's a good filmmaker, but you won't ever hear me fucking say it.
Separate the art from the artist, man. It's the only way to survive.
That's the only way, yeah.
If you stand with Wayfarer, take a second to comment signed in the comments below, or add your own words of support. Let's show them we're here. And then ends with a Baha'i quote by somebody called
that's their big
can't do it in apologies. No disrespect. It's just
there's a lot of apostrophes.
There's a Baha.
Too many vowels. Yeah.
I don't know how you say the U.
Yeah.
Baha.
I think you can move on.
Ooh la la.
Dale.
So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth.
So powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth.
Can you believe the hypocrisy in that statement alone?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not. That's not. hypocrisy.
To
Saying-
invoke that quote
Yeah.
for Wayfair is an utter hypocrisy.
Yeah, that's true.
There's absolutely nothing to do with unity. You can't have unity and all of this disunity
No, I know.
all at once.
My criticism of that quote isn't that it's like invalid. Of course it's true, but like, it's so thin. Like all these, like they're always sharing these, like Steve Sarowitz did that too in his recording, where he was talking about what they were going to have on the wall at his little theater, and it was like another one of these Baha'i quotes. Like they're acting like they're profound. That's not any fucking profound statement. Like, yes, unified people are powerful. Well, you're just not saying anything bigger than that.
Yeah, that's why we want to unionize, fucker. Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's all about the people and the power of the people. Anyway, I just had to share that with you because it's just absolutely, I think it's just, it's frightening, isn't it? For me, it's frightening. I read that this morning and I was just like, first of all, this totally now look, maybe it's coming from them. I don't know. But if it's not coming from them and it's like some person who's like, oh my God, I just woke up this morning and I felt it inside of me. So I went all the way to my Canva account.
This whole thing.
Free account, by the way. And I did this. And, it's just.
This whole thing reads like one of those cards that you can buy at the supermarket,
Yes.
Like one of those, like, get well soon. Like we're
Right.
all behind you. All of your coworkers are rooting for you.
It's got all the like signatures in the silver pen.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, guys, that one hit me hard. I'm not gonna lie. That one just like I was just like, wow, people. Ooh.
But it's great though because I think they love that shit. Like I'm sure that whoever saw that or whoever sent it to fucking Baldoni and everything was just. I bet they're so tickled. They're gonna put it in a frame and hang it in their hallway. You just know that these are the type of people that have like word signs all over their house. You know those types?
Yeah, exactly. Hope.
Yeah. No, but they're all quotes by this guy with a long name.
Love in the kitchen.
They're all quotes that basically could have
With
been
the
said
Baha'i.
by Pee Wee Herman. Like they're that profound.
I truly don't want
Very
to.
true. Very like unifying, but like not very profound.
I don't want to I don't want to like disrespect the person who's I'm quoting and whatever meme should like that was a pretty weak quote, but like when we're together we're strong. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Have you ever like seen a gang of people beat up one guy?
Who's the guy that wrote
Rodney King, for example?
Rainbow Connection? Williams? What's his name? The songwriter.
Paul Williams?
Paul Williams.
Yeah.
Paul Williams writes more profound lyrics in his fucking Muppet movie songs.
Well, don't be. What do you? Paul Williams is a genius.
Yes, and he writes very profound lyrics.
Yes, he does.
More profound than this is what I'm saying.
I was a little worried about you there for a second.
No.
Smallville star Allison Mack. She gave her first interview, as we know. We talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Okay.
But this is like how.
Did you read it?
No, but this is how. The media like twists things and contorts things and makes you like start, because like it's really easy to walk away from headlines. Cosmic Urgency has given me shit a few times for coming up here and just talking headlines. And he's not wrong all the time, but at least I admit to it before I begin. Usually I'm like, I only read the headline so I can like, as a caveat, because I sometimes I just have a commentary about what I'm reading. It invokes a thought and I feel like it's worth talking about. But, in most cases, what we get from publicists is this idea of like trying to create like clickbait, or not publicists, but writers and publicists for that matter, and clickbait. So Allison Mack said in the interview that she was introduced to her cultish husband, through Kristen Kruk. And Kristen Kruk, I think that's how you say her name. She is this total babe who was her co-star on Smallville. And so Kristen Kruk, the real story is that Kristen Kruk, they started this whole thing out with, the bait was self-help. So they had these like self-help courses, and then
that's how it goes in LA.
Yeah.
If you're in LA and you want to start a cult, you got to start it that way. That's the only way to get people in.
Yeah. So they baited with self-help. And so Kristen Kruk went and did the courses, and she was like, yeah, this is good. Hey, Allison, you should come check it out. I'm checking it out. But then when the sex came, she was like, no, I'm out. And she split. She had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not trying to get fucking
But the headline, you know what I'm saying? So if people are just walking away with this headline, they're walking away with Kristen Kruk was a part of it. She got her friend into it. And then you got somebody, you got two people fucking, busting veins at a party half drunk over something that they have factually wrong.
Busting veins.
You know, screaming until their veins bust, their heads.
Okay, what's the
over like Kristen Kruk started the whole thing, and no, she didn't. Yes, she fucking did.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they argue it, and they
they're dragging her name into it.
It's what we see with the Baldoni files, or not the Baldoni files. It's what we see with it ends with lawsuits with these people, these staunch supporters of a person they don't fucking know, and they just. You know, I had another conversation with a person because what they did is their whole thing that they're trying to push is that Blake Lively tried to coerce Colleen Hoover and other women to come forward and to file lawsuits against Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment. And there's no support of that.
There's no evidence of this at all?
None.
They're just assuming?
None. There's none. Well, they didn't present any. So when they wrote it, it was just this fucking person just fucking saying it. Just saying it, dude. In a fucking post. And then it followed like 3 different screenshots of people reacting to it. And then, you know, everybody with their pitchforks out right away. And I responded, I was like, you should be demanding the evidence for this. Like, why are you not demanding the evidence to see that she absolutely did this? Because if not, then this is exactly what a smear campaign looks like. If somebody can't produce, and they're like, I don't care, I think you're wrong. I'm like, produce the fucking evidence that she actually did it. Because it should be a simple thing to do. This is made up. I mean, I looked at the slide that they provided as their means for the post. You know, their source is literally a fucking comment on a Twitter account. It has no fucking links or anything. It's just nuts to me.
It doesn't even make sense for her whole trial plan either. Like, her lawsuit is really clean. There's no way that she would have. I just don't. What do you mean? She would rope somebody in as a witness, but then say you should sue him too? I mean, maybe that'll happen. It's possible that if Blake Lively wins her lawsuit, that he'll get a bunch more. I was wondering if Sony's going to sue him.
Justin?
Yeah.
No, they can't. They can't. There's no losses. There's no losses. They're easy to. Yeah. No way. There's no chance. There's no.
He's lucky, dude.
There's no loss.
He's lucky because they could bury him for sure.
Adele is going to make her debut with Tom Ford.
Her acting debut?
Her acting debut says Cosmic Urgency with Tom Ford. So I'm looking up Tom Ford so that you guys know who he is. He's a fashion designer and a filmmaker. I really don't know who he is. I'm sure I know his work. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Nocturnal Animals. I've heard of that.
Yeah, you saw that too.
I did see it?
Yeah, we watched that one.
Did I like it? Do you recall?
I don't think that you cared for the ending. But yeah, we liked it.
Quantum of Silence. He was in the wardrobe department. But he directed A Single Man. I didn't see that. I don't know what that is. And that's about it on the directing. He's only directed 2 things. So, wow, that's interesting that Adele's... But as a writer, he has had 3 things.
Did he write Nocturnal?
He's in his 60s.
Did he write Nocturnal Animals?
He's got 2 writing
Dale.
credits, yes. He did. He did. Look at this. He wrote Nocturnal Animals in 2016 and A Single Man in 2009. I always see these kinds of things. Thank you for bringing me to his attention, because it's like, because I look at my resume, which is fucking like, decades apart, and I'm like, oh God. And then I see guys, I'm like, yeah, I write a movie every 6 years or whatever. And it makes me feel like, there's still stuff ahead of me,
Yeah, I like Nocturnal Animals because it doesn't have a happy ending. I mean, I'm not spoiling it or anything. It's not like it has like a sad ending or anything.
Fuck, Angela.
But it just like, I just really like filmmakers who aren't trying to like tie everything up in a nice, pretty bow, because life isn't like that.
Oh, with Amy Adams.
A Single Man with Colin Firth. We have not seen that one.
I don't think I have. I don't think I have. I don't know. I like Colin Firth, so it's possible.
Stacey R wants to know, have you ever seen those shows where people will, on either side of the political divide, are debating each other? Have you ever seen those debate shows?
Are we talking like that legendary one that I love so much? I watched like once every couple of years.
It's not legendary. No, this is like a relatively new thing of the last few years. They have like debate shows where somebody is like in the middle of
You mean
a
like
room.
Charlie Kirk style?
Yeah, kind of like what he was doing, but in like a
I've,
more formatted.
I think I've seen some of that, but very little of it. Is it interesting?
It's,
I'm gonna just shout at the TV. You know that.
I know. It's kind of like it's a little bit like rage baity, you know? Because I think they deliberately put the worst people together. You know? They like have the worst people with the worst opinions who are somehow very open with them. But anyway, Stacey R was asking you, have you ever seen Dean Withers or Parker debating MAGAs?
No, I would love to. I think I could kick some serious ass in all of that. I think I can like the way in which I dismantle Baldoni people. Like my last like they I have like hundreds and hundreds of downvotes, as I've said. But like
would
when
you
I want
want
to just
to,
go
though?
and get them, well, no, I don't want to. No, you know what I like to do? I like to talk to you and to our friends. You know what I want to do is I want to start bringing some of our friends on, and bring interviews on, and I'm figuring that out next. The next thing is to add some more
But
personalities.
not as like a debate where
No,
you guys
no.
do,
It's
don't
just
agree.
like, I know that like, we have some, like, I mean, we heard Nadine last night. She's got a bunch of shit she could talk about. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so, just, I like our situation so much as opposed to like, yeah, that other stuff for sure.
Mateo is asking, do you know about All the Pretty Horses, the Final Cut story? It was a big fight between Billy Bob Thornton and Harvey Weinstein. The movie was cut from over 3 hours to less than 2. Did you know about this?
I didn't know about it, but it's a very common thing. So, it's not, I mean, it's always interesting to hear about. So I'm glad you're telling me about it. And if you have some tea, spill it. But it's just not uncommon.
But you were bringing this up in the context of Baldoni being so like hurt over Sony wanting a theatrical
Well,
cut.
the thing that was so damning about these Colleen Hoover texts was that it clearly illustrated that this man, Justin Baldoni, was trying to push a Ryle narrative that was unacceptable to her. So it's a little bit of a different thing, like a Harvey Weinstein situation, which Harvey Weinstein's notoriously involved in the cuts, by the way. He's like that. That was not uncommon. He was always involved. And you know what? He was good at it, like really good at it.
Specifically, I just want to read this Colleen Hoover text again, okay? This is what you're referencing.
Yeah.
It just feels like I'm on an island here. When the hate is being directed at me, you guys posting that article and allowing it to fuel the comments is hurtful. And the timing of it just feels like you're worried more about your image, but not the women who are behind the story.
Yeah.
I know things took an awful turn and I felt forced to choose when I did not want to, but the back and forth articles from both camps are just so upsetting and ridiculous. It's making everyone working on this movie look immature. Everyone is out there trying to save themselves, and now this has turned into a huge mess. And I know you guys think I've made decisions for certain reasons, but I have felt the rift from long before I ever was in contact with Blake. It started with me not being allowed to read the script until I was sat with readers, but then all the interviews made it seem like you included me in the script from the beginning. Then the whole documentary thing where I said no so very many times, and the book when I asked you guys to at least donate a portion of the proceeds for DV, and then I was told the only way to donate would be a donation would be made is if I took 1% and donated that myself. Then
they could have made the donation.
I know. Then the whole tattoo thing, all the texts of you blaming Blake for that and reiterating that she didn't read the book every time I just try to ask you what to say to readers. I have been disappointed personally by your actions many times. I appreciate that you haven't directly said anything negative. That's how it should be. But you're grown men with a platform. You know how to use it to protect your image. Please don't continue to use it to harm me or mine. That's all I'm asking.
So incendiary.
Yeah. She sounds as irritated as Sony did. I just keep pairing the two because it's the same tone.
So,
but anyway, so what you were referring to is that you're worried about your image, but not the women who are behind this story. That's what you referenced.
Yeah, and I think that's as damning as it gets for her because it's another circumstantial piece of evidence that Blake Lively's story checks out. Anyway, so I I don't know where I was on that whole thing, but yeah, Colleen Hoover, man. This
No, you were talking about we were talking about Sony making a theatrical edit, just like All the Pretty Horses apparently was edited down over an hour.
Yeah, and that's
by
just a
Harvey
common
Weinstein.
thing. We know this. I've said this over and over again. It's just there's nothing uncommon about there being a. Oh, what I was saying about the Colleen Hoover thing actually was that there was a thing about Ryle in there, right? Wasn't there that
No,
he?
not that one. But he, in his response to her, I think he mentions.
Well, it's in one of them where there's this. They're having a conversation about Ryle. It's not. No, it's not about him. It was something she said, and maybe it was in another text then, but she said something about how he is trying to she's she's upset about the way that he's trying to portray Ryle as this sympathetic or empathetic character. It's upsetting her. She's like, I told you that that's not the character. Like there was some kind of like, I wish it wasn't that because now now I'm wondering, I'm questioning my sources because I thought it was in that specific one. But
I know there's so much; it's hard to keep it straight.
yeah, but in any case, he was pushing narratives that they didn't want. It's they keep wanting to go to the score. We've had this conversation time and again, but they keep wanting to go to that test score as an example of how Blake Lively took over. Yeah, and it's just so absurd because absolutely sensitive material, like if they don't want to get into things like DV or virgins losing their virginity on camera, like these kinds of things, if they don't want that in their movie, it doesn't matter if it scores well. If they think it's going to hurt them in the eyes of critics or in the views of women who are looking to this film to see a woman overcoming, the gaze of a man, because only the gaze of a man is putting that virgin scene in a movie, or at least in this movie, because we know the author didn't, we know the writer didn't. So the only person who did that was Justin Baldoni. So we know that like it would be very easy that it wasn't.
The lack of self-awareness is astonishing to me, that he didn't anticipate that somebody might have an issue with him adding. Okay, so the author who is expecting the adaptation of her book to be close to the book, and then the screenwriter who wrote the screenplay that everybody approved, and that's why all this talent is signed on to make the movie. But Justin Baldoni wants to add a scene that's already controversial, but that he didn't recognize that there might be some pushback about him explicitly adding a scene where there's teenage sex that wasn't in the screenplay and wasn't in the book. Why was he surprised? Why he should not have been surprised.
No.
Like in the scene in the book, she gets off the school bus at the beginning of the scene.
Yeah.
Like, what are you fucking doing, dude?
Yeah, that's just
like
out of
none
control.
of the women who wrote on this project, this intellectual property, thought that it was good or useful or necessary to actually make a scene out of that.
Like it just makes me want to know what his favorite, what Justin Baldoni's favorite scene in Blue Lagoon is.
Ugh, God. Oh, All Scientist said she was definitely upset when he tried to change the baby's name to Riley.
Yeah.
Well, that's so strange because in the book, his sister has a baby that she wants to name Riley. So I'm not sure. Maybe Justin Baldoni was suggesting that his own child and that Ryle's own child was supposed to be named.
I think he had.
So he was like,
I think it was
difference?
about making. That's what it was, wasn't it? It was about that he wanted to have Ryle have a child, or does he have in the book named Riley as opposed to it be the sisters? So I think that was the change.
Yeah.
I speculate.
Who knows, man? I got to dig into it. Cosmic Urgency said Sherry O'Terry is back in Scary Movie 6.
Yeah, that's cool.
She's playing Gale Hailstorm.
That's pretty cool.
That must have been a fun script to write.
Yeah, he was loose. Another thing that's going around today that we brought it up a little bit, but a little more deeply into it with Justin Baldoni is how people are really noticing that he is this emotionally dependent person. And I really love that people are starting to see that for what it is, because it's very toxic. It's entirely toxic. We talked about it at length yesterday, but it's just nice to see that, others are seeing it as well, because it didn't seem to be a topic, and it's something we brought up more than once.
There was somebody who wrote this really great breakdown of it on Baldoni Files, where they were talking about all the press that he did, like the interviews that he did in written press, where he's being very self-referential and he's talking about about how difficult it was for him, how much of a burden it was for him to play an abusive character because he's such a sensitive person, and how it was really kind of traumatic for him and whatever. And we saw a lot of that stuff in his interviews too. But one of the things that I found was really interesting, my first thought was like, okay, a lot of people are critical of Blake Lively for promoting the film in a way that they thought was disrespectful or distracted from the topic of DV and DV survivors. Well, anytime you ever hear Justin Baldoni talk about his film, he keeps deflecting the conversation from DV and DV survivors to himself and his own experience. And he is not a domestic violence survivor, according to him. Maybe he is, but he hasn't spoken about it. And he, in the process of making the movie, he just keeps talking about how hard it was for him to play this character. So how come nobody's jumping on his back for also deflecting from the topic of domestic violence, women who struggle with domestic violence and survive it?
Yeah, it's
like
such
he does it just as much as Blake Lively does.
This guy's so strange, bro. He's so strange.
If there was
I love that people are also pointing out that he was just so fucking emotionally unstable, that how are you supposed to run the production? You know, people were falling short a little bit about it, you know, and it's something that I like that we emphasize on this live, is that, you know, he was the fucking director, he was the lead actor, and he was also the head of the studio.
He would say in these interviews that he would, like,
one of the heads,
after he would do a scene as Ryle, he would have to go outside and take a break because he was shaking and crying. And I read that to you earlier, and you were like, okay, well, who's running the set? Like, who's in charge? Like, he's the boss. Like, what is he doing?
Who's the boss? And if like, people are coddling to him, if people are like, literally his job is supposed to be coddling to the actor that does that. Do you know what I mean? He's supposed to be in the trailer being, are we going to be all right? What about, let's talk about it. Do I need to get the psychologist in here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here, take this.
I got to watch the movie because I want to know how grueling of a role it was for him.
Bob Ross's paintings are selling for lots of money.
Who's making the money?
PBS.
PBS is? 3
Bob Ross paintings sell for $600,000 to support public broadcasters. Pretty exciting.
$600,000?
3 paintings for $600,000. I bet you Bob Ross would just...
That's not enough money.
He'd drop a deuce right there. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
No, that's not enough money.
Angela, Bob Ross was not a great painter.
Okay, but
he was
still
a great
an
painting
icon,
teacher.
And it's for PBS. They
Those
need to be selling
should
for
not be selling
millions.
Let me tell you about all the great painters that are like, oh my God, 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 oh my God. Those ones that are sitting at fucking, like, you know, fucking fairs and shit. And they're like, you know, and they're like $450. And people are like, they're like, I mean, it's good, but, and he's looking at Bob Ross. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my, and you know, the wife's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? Bob Ross. Oh my God.
Don't shout.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You're going to peak your audio.
It's like writers' reaction to like 50 Shades of Grey getting a fucking, you know, a sequel. Oh my God.
I just
They're
feel
sitting
like
there laboring over these brilliant sentences.
It's not about whether he's a good painter. It's that when you put a Bob Ross painting in your home, it emanates joyfulness and peace.
Yeah, it's infused. It's imbued.
It's going to be
with
like
the essence of Bob Ross.
Yeah, it's like a haunted mirror, but in a good way.
It's like adding sweetener to your life.
Yes, that's why. That's why I'm saying they need to be more expensive.
I'm over the moon for him. $200,000 a pop. That is an extraordinary amount of money to pay for a Bob Ross painting. You are definitely paying for the imbuement.
Do you think PBS owned them and that's why they're selling them?
I would guess.
Yeah. That's cool that he was like, yeah, I'll paint on your show. You can own all the art and that's a deal. You know?
I couldn't be more excited. I was like, I saw that. It's just like, you know, it's funny how Bob Ross just can't stop putting smiles on my fucking face.
I got to look at his astrology chart because he is the most delightful person ever.
Did you ever like accidentally, like for me, I can't, like in my life, I only knew about Bob Ross because I came across him and he ended up just staying on, you know?
Yeah, you can't turn the
It'd
channel.
be like that, whatever Sundays it was or whatever. And on would, you know, I'd find him and then I would just stop and pause and deal with my hangover or whatever, return to cooking my fucking bacon and eggs. And then I'd come back and he'd still be on and I'd be like, no, I'm not turning him off. I'm not turning him off because he just doesn't bother me. Do you know what I mean? And he can like be in the background. It's like a baseball game.
So when you look up somebody's birth chart, right? And you want to see what they're like this, there's this astrology website that's just like a big database. So they have you can type in a name and birth chart and you'll get to astro theme. and they have all the celebrities charts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The one for Bob Ross has a picture of a guy in a costume as Bob Ross. It's not even him.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, who the fuck is running this site?
Oh, no.
Anyway, we don't get to know about Bob Ross's birth chart because we don't have his time of birth. But
we can look at his outer planets and stuff.
I'm very curious about. I'm gonna just create this chart real quick and talk about Bob Ross's birth chart. I just had Mary Shelley's up here. That was really interesting. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. While you're doing that, Dolly Parton's speaking again. I was starting to wonder if she was gonna like when she was gonna actually talk. But we're all being like really dramatic, you know. She's turning 80 and she said, "I ain't got time to get old." But that's not. It reminds me of. It's not how time works.
That's not how time works.
No. Hey, by the way, guys. Angela found this series that we had never seen, What's in Your Bag, for Amoeba Records.
It was so great.
There's a bunch that are really great.
What's in My Bag?
Sorry, What's in My Bag?
On the Amoeba Records YouTube channel.
On the Amoeba Records YouTube channel. Check out.
Just repeat what I say.
Check out. Yeah, well, because I love you and everything you say to me means so much. And I just want to remember it. Check out. Well, what if they can't hear you?
That's true.
Check out. Bill Hader, his was amazing. Check out John Carpenter, especially the ending. Check out, fucking Bill O'Reilly. No, Bill O'Reilly, please take from me my tongue, pluck from me my eyes. Come on, dude.
Who?
O'Reilly, isn't his name O'Reilly?
Oh, what's his fucking name?
God damn it! Fuck, I've watched him my whole life.
You're talking about John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
He had a good one too.
His was great.
Apparently he's a lounge singer now.
Well, don't blow it. Just
what do you
goddamn
mean?
Spoilers. Check out John C. Reilly's What's in Your Bag,
okay.
Amoeba.
So check this out. Bob Ross. You know how he's so famous?
Yeah.
And how you see him on TV and you feel super connected to him.
Yeah.
And you feel like he's making art and he's like connecting with you when he's doing it.
Yes.
This is the fucking this is the placement that does that. Taylor Swift has the same placement.
Which is it?
You know how she does that with her fans?
Tell me the goddamn
they're
placement.
a fan of hers and they're like, she's talking to me and I feel like I can communicate with her through her music, right?
I don't like that you're not telling me the goddamn
It's Jupiter and the moon co-present in Cancer.
I mean, it's just...
It makes people extremely fortunate and captivating and also like naturally trustworthy, where everybody just wants to like cuddle up with them and like have a warm beverage. I'm telling you, man, this is like that's why I had to look it up. I was like, why is Bob Ross so like universally beloved? And that's what Taylor Swift has too. Jupiter and the moon in Cancer.
Yeah, it's a brilliant placement. If you've got that, you've got some
the two
friends.
placements that signify good fortune, and the moon is in its own home, like so its own little domicile, and Jupiter is in its sign of exaltation, so it's like a guest of honor there. So neat.
Jack White relayed a message from Meg White during his White Stripes Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, and I love it. You want to hear what it says? What she said? This was her message that she...
Meg White
message
to Jack White.
Because she didn't go. You know, she's so reclusive at this point. You know what I mean? But this is her message that he read during their induction. Remember, Jack, when we used to walk around and for some reason animals would stop and stare at us?
That's great.
The fucking greatest thing ever, dude. Is that the greatest thing ever?
Yeah, they have an aura, huh?
Oh, man, I love that.
That's cool.
That was like the best thing ever. Because they're literally getting like into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And she's talking about how animals knew that or something.
I just think that that's a really
she's a
spooky,
fucking national treasure,
that's
bro.
a total witchy way to just be like, you're special.
I loved it.
You're special. I'm special.
It's just
we're
like
special.
one of the, I mean, it's poetry. It's fucking perfection in every way. I loved it.
Different thing, not with animals, but kind of similar. That when you and I first started dating, we were going everywhere together because we just can't stand to be apart. I would recognize that people at like restaurants we'd go to, like
Yeah.
we'd go the second time and they would remember us just
I
from
know,
having been there
we
the
got
first
that.
time.
We got that. Like it's weird.
I was really
Grocery
surprised by
grocery
that.
store clerks and shit. Hey,
Yeah.
you guys.
What's so weird too is because I've been walking around life for quite a while before I met you, and I didn't recognize that ever happening to me. Did it ever happen to you? But for some
No.
reason, when we went around together, people would remember us.
It's because of you. It's because you're so.
No, but that never happened to me alone.
Dude, I watched cars stop. Don't stop. Stop with that. I
You did
watched.
not watch
yes,
Cars
I did.
Stop.
Yes, I did.
Okay. shut
On
up.
Franklin. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna
shut up.
embarrass you. I'll
Shut
embarrass you. I'll embarrass you. So it's Shara Terry. It's Chris Elliott, also returning to Scary Movie 6. Kim Wayans, Damon Wayans Jr., and
Oh,
Heidi
yeah.
Gardner are also joining.
They're
the
gonna have a
cast.
good time. I think that they're just happy to work. They're like, oh, my SAG card almost
They're
expired.
like, oh, I almost fucking missed my benefits. That's the one you don't want to do is miss your benefits. Yeah, Adele's making her acting debut in Tom Ford's Cry to Heaven, it's called.
I hope she gets to talk in her natural accent.
I hope she doesn't sing. I hope it's about her not singing.
Oh, that her character's not like a lounge singer.
Yeah, I
or
don't even want her
something?
to fucking hum. Like, I don't want to be like, because they're going to be sitting there like, would you get her to hum or something? Like, fuck, it's Adele. Like, no temptation. Let her act. Let's see it. Like Johnny Cash.
Have you ever seen her in interviews?
Yes, she's great. She's hilarious.
She
She's
has a
super
really
loose-lipped.
really surprising accent too. Like she's
Yeah.
not posh, She's like she's
not posh.
totally glammed up, but
No.
she's just talks like a fucking sailor.
I'm sure there's conversations about her farting or whatever out there, like just her talking about it. She's awesome. I really like her
great.
attitude. She's totally loose. I saw this great video of, it was like one of her childhood teachers or whatever was in the audience and she recognized them.
Oh yeah, I've seen that
It's
too.
like some dope ass shit like that.
That's how they stage those things so that we like them more.
Did we talk about Frankenstein's makeup artist Mike Hill applied Jacob Elordi's full body prosthetic 20 times and he never complained once? Imagine complaining. Imagine complaining while you're getting your fucking makeup on while you're about to become a part of like a horror masterpiece
I love that
created
story.
by one of the most beloved directors of our time.
I love that story because the makeup artist is saying this about a guy because he usually hears them complain. He's experienced enough to work on this fucking feature, right? So he has a long career of applying prosthetics to movie stars, and he probably hears them bitch and complain all the time. But Jacob Elordi was like, okay, it's not Bela Lugosi. What's his name?
Boris?
It was Boris Karloff. It was Robert De Niro and me.
Yep.
That's who's played Frankenstein. No, I'm not going to complain.
Come on, dude. Put the makeup on. Take all day, whatever you got.
Yeah.
He sat there. There's pictures of him playing his Steam Deck and shit. Like, he's just fucking doing what everybody else would do. Read a book or whatever.
I saw that video. There's like a time lapse video of him getting all his makeup.
Yeah, I
put
saw
on.
that as well.
They made him look incredible too. They're such incredible artists. But the everybody was like quick to look up the book that he was reading, and I grabbed it.
Dude, you check out like fucking, how like, Justin Baldoni and his method acting, and this guy's like playing Frankenstein and also whatever was on his Steam Deck while getting his makeup on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, give it a rest, pal. The Running Man.
Yes.
Somebody says, this is a quote from somebody, I think a reviewer. The Running Man conjures a dystopian vision of America that's still not as bad as reality.
Oh.
What a time to be alive. I can't believe that Running Man is tamer than the world in which we live.
Okay, you moved on too fast. Let me just go back, okay?
God damn it.
I wanted to
Angela.
tell you about the book that Jacob Elordi was reading while he was getting his monster makeup on. Okay?
Yeah.
It's titled Weak in Comparison to Dreams. Isn't that a great title?
Yes.
It's by James Elkins. It's 607 pages. You can see it in his hand. It's like a hunkin' big book.
Honking, you say?
Weak in comparison to dreams. Here's the write-up about it. For years, Samuel Emmer has monitored bacteria levels in drinking water for the small city of Giuffre, whatever. He is content to focus on dangerous, life-threatening single-celled organisms as his grasp on his own life recedes, and with it, family and friends. To be sure, it is more than a little surprising when Samuel learns that he has been appointed to the city's Zoo Feasibility Committee, even more so that he is being tasked with interacting not just with animals, but human beings. His assignment, travel to zoos around the world and gather information on the stereotypical behavior of animals in their enclosures. The city they have aspiring commendability, if naively, sorry, I'm fucking this up.
Angela. Come on.
I'm going to skip that part.
We're live.
It is in Estonia that the dreams start for Samuel. He is in a vast wooded landscape. There is a fire burning in the distance, and it is coming his way. So this book is written by a historian and art critic. And apparently, and they're saying it's like no other novel you've ever read. And I'm just like, how fucking dope that somebody who's into reading books like this is working with Guillermo del Toro and Oscar Isaac. And I just know that they had like the brainiest conversations. Mia Goth,
I would read that in a minute.
Hmm?
I would read that in a minute.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Weak in Comparison to Dreams.
Yeah, that's just a great fucking title.
They say
I get
it
jealous of
reignites
titles.
our love for the ambitious novel with experimentation that never lacks intention and whose empathetic score explores the deepest aspects of our individual humanity.
I don't know. It's
That's a little blue. I mean, purple.
It's not just purple. It's also like it could also mean they hated it.
A man tasked with observing zoo
Because you
animals.
say with purpose is like such an easy way of saying I didn't like what you did, but at least you had a reason.
Here's the shorter one. I should have just read this instead. A man tasked with observing zoo animals embarks on a surreal journey exploring the boundaries of human existence through vivid dreams.
It sounds...
And it's so perfect for his character because he's a zoo animal. Frankenstein's monster is a zoo animal.
I can't find this. I'm trying to find this. I thought I'd saved the story. I found a story. There's an investigation going on right now where tourists were paying to go to Sarajevo
Yes, I saw this too.
and kill human beings.
I know. I wasn't actually going to bring this one up because it's so horrible and so dark.
But we're talking, yeah.
And it's so depraved, and it's actually just very difficult to even like
Can you imagine this?
reconcile in your mind the information.
It's obviously completely crazy.
Yeah, I know.
But but there's literally in our life, because like,
So when you're talking about Running Man,
yes,
when you're
exactly.
like, yeah,
It's like there's Running Man thing.
Guys,
but
it's just
there's
like-
actually, what was that? It was more like Hunger Games, isn't it?
yeah.
It's more like Hunger Games. So
There's been a lot of Hunger Game references because they shut down the government and they're not giving anybody any social services for food. You know,
I
They're
can't
like,
believe
wow,
the
that's-
story
that's-
though. I'm going to watch the story. I'm going to look for updates to it because I'm absolutely curious about it. I want to know anything. I want to know everything about a potential murder tourist organization. Like I definitely want to know about that. That's a depravity of the human condition that
There are people who work in
piques my
like
curiosity.
these like 3-letter
I'm
investigatory.
disgusted by it, of course.
I'm sorry. I did that to you.
I did that to you too.
There are people who are involved in investigating in like these 3-letter like investigatory organizations in the government
Yes.
where their whole job is to like try to find the sources of snuff films and stuff, or like
What a
the
life,
people who
huh?
are like investigating the most heinous crimes you can ever think of, and like that's their job to like
That's the
get
person you
deep
put it like that
into-
guy who does that job. You get them on Fear Factor. Like there's just, you put them in, you let them, they'll eat all the bugs. They'll let all the things fall on them, whatever. Like those people are, if they can live a life where they're investigating that because like that stuff is the darkest of dark. Like
Dale and I watch a lot of true crime stories, and it is always fascinating when you see like the career detectives who have just been like changed. They have like, you can see it in their eyes that they've seen some things. They've seen like the depth of human depravity. It's just so fucked up. I feel so sorry for them. It's truly heroic work though, man. It's like, I can't imagine how much of a hit your psyche has to take in order to do that work, but it really protects people. Can you imagine? You go home. Hi, honey. I'm home. She says, how was work? And then like, you just sort of like fade out because you can't bring it in.
you just, it's so
She's
fucked
like,
up.
oh, that bad? Okay.
You didn't get fired, did you? No, nothing like that.
I made lasagna.
I made lasagna.
Oh, too gory? Sorry. I made, they have to like eat vegetarian.
I had some good news for you too that I wanted to share, but I'm trying to find it.
Are you interested in watching Running Man, the movie?
I am.
Did you like the Schwarzenegger one?
I loved it.
You did?
I never read the book, so I loved it.
Yeah. I hope this one's close to the book.
I have no idea if
Maybe cooler.
if Schwarzenegger's Running Man holds up. But as a kid, I was riveted by it. I mean, they were running for their lives. Yeah. I mean, what more motivation do you need than to save your own life? Whereas Squid Games, for example, I felt really lost me in the end.
Well, so dude, it's surprising that we didn't mention that one with your Sarajevo story, because that's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. It was
Well, no, it wasn't, because in Squid Games, at least you could come out of it potentially with a little bit of money and a psychological problem.
no, but the whole thing was put on to entertain the rich,
Yeah.
cretins.
Right. Yeah.
Cosmic Urgency just said, sounds boring.
Which one?
I don't know what we were talking about at the time, but you're probably not wrong.
It's probably the book. The book sounds boring.
Yeah. Well, it sounds interesting. I mean, it's really long, so maybe.
It does, well, if it's too experimental, I need to go, brush up on my Faulkner is what I really knew if I'm going to go there.
Delicate said there's a special election in Tennessee on December 2nd. Everybody's watching that
In
very
Tennessee?
closely. Yep.
Hmm.
So there's another seat that might.
Yes, there is a seat there that got redistricted or whatever. I don't know, but it now looks like it might flip to the Dems, and then they have the House. I think it's exciting. We'll see what happens. They'll fuck it up, but at least they'll have it to fuck up. Oh, Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court to throw out the E. Jean Carroll case, the $5 million verdict. He's asking the Supreme Court to intervene. I didn't know that they could. I guess they could. I guess at the state level. Crazy. They're not gonna do it. There's no way they're gonna interfere with states' rights there.
Can you imagine being Donald Trump's lawyer and having him ask you for absolutely preposterous shit and just being like, okay, how do I make a fucking case before the Supreme Court that actually sounds like I shouldn't lose my license?
It's so disturbing.
Like, it's just like he wants things to be done, but he can't make a legal argument for any of that stuff. I mean, there's just no way. Like, she already won her appeal, or his appeal, right?
He's right around the national average, right?
Of what?
Age-wise?
What?
He's right around the national average in age-wise. Let's see.
How
old? Yeah, how old? Average.
He's not an average age. Is that what you're saying?
Lifespan of an American.
Oh,
man.
lifespan. You're wondering when it's going to happen?
I'm just asking myself.
I asked Dale the other day. I was like, hey, Dale, so it's going to happen one day. Okay, it's going to happen. And just imagine
74.8 years old. He's had a long, long, long life.
Let me just say this thing. I was asking Dale, I was like, okay, when it happens, would you prefer, like, if you could choose, would you prefer that it happens overnight, like, so you wake up to the news? Or would you want it to happen during your day, like, so that you're, like, distracted by the news? Or would you want it to happen at night before you go to bed, so you're, like, kept up by the news?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't care when I get that news. And I'm not even really just sitting in anticipation of the news. I'm just wondering how old he is compared to the average American. And it turns out that he is, well past the average age. So that would tell me lots. Hey, listen, I'm not here to celebrate anything. I'm just saying we all expire.
Do you want to answer my question, though? Because I thought it was kind of fun.
Which one's? I don't know. I don't have a preference at all. There's no.
It is fun just to kind of think about, like, the day it's going to happen. Because it's going to happen.
I know.
So there's going to be a day.
You're going to hear this in France. Dong, dong, dong.
Everywhere in
and
France.
It's not going to be for morning. It was like when he lost the election. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I think my least favorite would be if we found out about it right before bed, because then I would just stay up all night scrolling constantly, like, for like hours and hours. Too excited to sleep.
Apparently, Truth Social got an AI. And then, so somebody right away asked because, and they asked like all these questions that, like, for example, do Americans bear the burden of tariffs? And this is Truth Social AI, and it's like, yes, they do. And it was like, did Donald Trump, is Donald Trump, what word did they use? Is Donald Trump, whatever, I don't know. I'm going to say lying when he says that the 2020 election was stolen. Yes, Donald Trump is lying. Independent, blah, 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 blah. 2020 election was not stolen.
So it tells the truth?
Yeah, it tells the truth on
Truth Social?
Yeah.
Good.
And then the top comment was...
they're going to fix this real quick.
Yeah, they're going to fix this real quick. I think that actually was it.
They're not going to let that continue.
There's an interesting story here, so we got to watch our backs. TikTok influencer ordered to pay $1.7 million in US dollars for destroying manager's marriage. A North Carolina woman will have to pay $1.75 million.
Oh my God.
After a jury found her liable for destroying a Durham couple's marriage. The lawsuit filed in Durham County Court accused Brene Kennard, an influencer with nearly 3 million followers on TikTok and 274 followers on Instagram, of seducing and having an affair with her manager, Tim Montague. Montague of all things.
Oh, okay. I thought she was getting sued for that much because she talked about a scandal, a local scandal, and it was false or something. No, but she actually she's a housebreaker. Is that what they call it?
She has received justice from losing her husband and the father of her children, said Robonata Jones, who was the attorney for Tim Montague's ex-wife. The jury found Kennard liable for criminal conversation and alienation of affection.
I'm sorry, criminal conversation?
Listen to that. The jury found Kennard liable for criminal conversation.
What?
And alienation of affection. North Carolina's alienation of affection law allows a spouse to sue the person they blame for an affair that ends a marriage. North Carolina is one of the few states that allows jilted spouses to sue someone for interfering in their marriage. Holy fuck, know the laws, bro. Know the laws, man. You're at the bar, you're like, yo.
$1.5 million?
1.75 million. 1.75 million. She's a fucking big influencer, bro. She has 3 million followers on TikTok, right? Is that what they said? So if she has 3 million followers on TikTok, that's like having 800,000 followers on YouTube. Like, that's a big channel.
Yeah.
So Montague, who brought the suit to civil court, married Montague 2018 in court lawsuit. She claimed the affair caused her mental anguish, damaged her health, and deprived her children of a 2-parent household. Kennard slammed the verdict, saying that Montague knew her marriage was over and allowed the affair. She gave her consent, Kennard said. She said it was okay because she knew her marriage was over with and it was done.
But she lost?
She lost.
I think it's really funny. I can't get over how I said I couldn't find the word for homewrecker, so I said housebreaker.
Housebreaker. That's still crazy though. It's a shame that that it was like, I thought it had to do with her channel.
It's a homewrecking law. That's really cute.
A homewrecking law, isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. That's kind of, don't go fucking.
It's weird because
they're
basically, adultery isn't legal.
Yeah, some of these laws, I'm just like, well, that's one I'm not gonna break, so I'm good. Can you imagine?
No, I can't fucking imagine.
I wonder if a defense for that law is that you didn't know he was married. Like, I wonder whether that would protect you. Because that happens a lot.
Of course.
If
you can prove it, obviously it would. If you can prove that you did not know that somebody was married while you were sleeping with them.
Right.
I mean, you can't.
Do you think that
you can't be like, I'd love to sleep with you. Can we just go and check the county clerk's office records here? Because first of all, you don't know where they were. Like, my first marriage was in Vegas, but I lived in Los Angeles. It's not even that easy to check.
This story is fascinating to me. I wonder whether you would call if you were getting sued for homewrecking.
Yes.
This homewrecking law, whether you could call the man as your witness for the defense. Saying, no, she didn't wreck my home. I wrecked my home. She's innocent,
Well, I mean, she got, she got the judgment against her, a jury award.
The jury had to, oh my God. Yeah. That's so fucking weird.
It's another instance
so
where
messy.
you have to listen to the word of the law and deliver so,
crazy.
You're not allowed to bone, people's husbands.
Well, Scientist has some breaking news for us.
Let's hear it.
Lively just just filed an opposition to Wallace's motion for continued sealing. It has some exhibits with previous redactions that now reveal that Tag planted a story blaming Lively for the It Ends With Us promotion. They also say that they're going to have
the judge said that he didn't cite the evidence, but he said that there was evidence that proved that Tag did that. Do you remember what I'm talking about? In the dismissal, he says, there's a quote where he says, and there's evidence that shows that Jed Wallace did indeed plant stories that were about whatever.
I'll explain.
Thank you.
The judge was quoting how Melissa Nathan was assuring Justin Baldoni that Jed Wallace didn't plant this one story. And the judge was like, okay, but this infers that just the language of how she phrased it, he was like, this infers that there were other stories that he did plant, that he simply didn't plant this one. So that's why they were saying, like, it definitely does look like he actually planted stories, because she's using language that's referential to what he did, saying that he didn't do this one.
Maybe he'd already seen that evidence.
All Scientists said they also say that they're going to have some criticism of Baldoni being silent about it so it doesn't look planted. Yeah, All Scientists, they were doing this too. They were.
Oh my God, that's so damning.
This is something that the publicists do all the time, is that they will seed like some very safe negative thing about their client so it doesn't look like it comes from them. And they talk about this in the evidence, doing that all the time.
I feel like that. This is why I'll say it again. I really feel like summary judgment might be within their grasp on the Lively camp. It's just overwhelming. If they get that kind of evidence in, Jesus, come on.
So MJ the lawyer was doing this really awesome video explaining. Oh, sorry, it was a whole write up she did on Threads about what motion of summary judgment means, and she said that it only counts that the things that can be decided in summary judgment that won't go to trial have to be things that are uncontested from both sides. So they have to look at the evidence from one side and the evidence for the other, and both sides have to agree that that's uncontested. But that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how that. So I don't know what qualifies as something that could be under motion for summary judgment or not based on that. She's usually really great at explaining things, so maybe I'm just doing a bad job. All Scientists said they also confirmed in depositions that they planted a story with Sarah Nathan, who notably wasn't in Tag's list of journalists that they talked to. Yeah, they did leave her out. They left her out, and they left Harvey Levin out, even though there's text messages saying that they talked to both of them. So when they were supposed to report, it was court ordered that they were supposed to give Lively the names of all of the journalists they talked to. They deliberately left out really big names that they're talking about.
It hurts them, but it's not going to be sanctionable. I don't think but it does.
That they didn't reveal all of their contacts.
No, I think it's sanctionable because I think they can refute it by just saying, okay, I forgot about the Levin conversation or whatever. But then again, you have Brian Friedman on Two Angry Men the other fucking day. It's just, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I got some bad news on the AI front, kind of. It's not real bad news, but it's kind of bad news. Michael Caine and Liza Minnelli are among a list of actors to lend their voices to 11 Labs.
Fucking Matthew McConaughey's on that list.
A generative AI company that specializes in audio. Is that true?
Yeah.
What a fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot. Thanks for leaving it for the kids in the future, buddy.
I mean, you guys literally fucking you did a strike about this.
What a fucking idiot.
Like, how fucked up that the fucking studios and that their workers union is like, we just fought for this for you. Many people suffered. There were people who lost their homes because they couldn't afford them anymore because we all collectively decided to go on strike. It was a big labor union effort, and they fucking prevailed, and they got their AI protections from the studios. And now these guys are going and fucking selling their voices on the side.
Yeah. If I know something's AI, I'm not going to watch it. If I know something's AI, generative AI, I'm not going to watch it.
No, dude. No.
Especially if it's like, I mean, like I'm like, if I'm watching a Ridley Scott movie and he did some crowd work or whatever, I'm not going to know about it or whatever. That's not going to necessarily stop me. But I'm talking about the kind of generative AI that is Michael Caine being a character in a movie.
It's like, I accept AI is going to like read x-rays and make some diagnoses maybe that the doctors would miss.
Vacuum the floor.
That's fine. But
Do the
creative
dishes.
work, we're not doing that.
Did you see the Russian robot fall over right away?
I did, yeah. Yeah, they did a demo where they had this big stage design. Everything was all perfect.
Thing just looked
the
drunk.
lights, it was like they
Big
had done this whole
presentation.
production.
Keynote.
And then they let the very first steps that their humanoid robot takes, it fucking face plants.
Face plants. He goes and catches it, and then he brings out this big black fucking.
He tries to pick it up, and it won't allow itself to be picked up. So he just has to kind of drag it across the stage.
While
It's
they're
so
trying to
amazing.
obscure everyone's view with this black curtain.
He takes up this curtain, but it's all knotted, so you can still see
I guess
them
it's
all.
like duotine. Is that what they call it? Duotine?
Duvetine.
I always get the names wrong.
I don't think it was Duvetine.
Paris Jackson revealed that she has a perforated septum.
I saw that video.
Did you?
She holds up her phone with a flashlight on one nostril,
Oh,
and she
my
turns
God.
her head, and you can see it on the other
Oh,
side.
dude.
That's a fun party trick. I have a really low septum, and when I got it pierced, I had a piercing in here. You could see all the way through.
I know, yeah. When I met you, I was like, hey, what's up with
I
that?
know. That's happened a million times where like one of my friends will be sitting beside me on a sunny day, and they'll be like, "There's a hole in your nose."
Yeah, you would be serving coffee, and then you would get like a bright light would, and it's like a star almost. It's like a glint
star
from a
in my
diamond.
nose. Yeah.
Paris Jackson reveals that she this perforated septum is from her drug use, and she says, "Don't do drugs, kids." But I can't help but think, man, that she's got problems coming if she did so many drugs that she was able to affect her septum in that way.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll.
Maybe
be
she was vulnerable, but man, that's just it's bad news for her. It's terrible. It's so sad, and it is. It's interesting because
She grew out of it though. She looks super healthy.
she looks amazing. I'm at that age now where I have a lot of retrospection going on, and I've never been more aware of the folly of my father in my life. You know what I mean? In my upbringing, from my upbringing, and just my experiences in general. It's really wild. It's got me thinking quite profoundly about it in terms of just seeing and then thinking about it generationally. Like my father's abuse was wild, bro. Like it's just he got nailed into his house by his mother until the neighbors came and found them as orphans.
Like abandoned and
They just
confined
ate
in the
everything.
house.
Yes. And then they got put into a foster system that was very much like a slavery system for farmers.
Were you bringing this up because of Michael Jackson?
Yeah, because I was just thinking about what he went through, my father, and I was thinking about what I went through, and I was kind of projecting of what a child might have gone through if I'd have said, say, I had a kid in my mid-20s, for example, and just kind of trying to be honest with myself, like what kind of a father would I have been? What would have been the difference is my life was better than my father's life. My life was hell. It was better than my father's life.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking about Michael Jackson and his struggle with drugs, and then of course his untimely death, and then that untimely death, sort of now kind of manifesting in these, Paris Jackson talking about her life without her father, essentially, it's just amazing how you can be brought into families where you're raised in this way that gives you just every possible advantage. And in a world where Paris Jackson should have had every possible advantage, she was obviously left quite short to turn to drugs. I turned to drugs and alcohol all through because of the abuse, 100%. Do you know?
Yeah.
I think that if I would have gotten to partying as a younger man, it would have happened in my late teens. I was really focused. I wanted to be an athlete now, or I wanted to be I didn't want to be an academic, but I was into academia. I was into learning at the time. I was into especially history and English. So, and then all the molestation started happening. The physical and mental abuse was out of control. And I just started to break down. I was a fucking child. How the fuck am I supposed to be carrying all this around? And I just started to break down. And that breakdown led to me at 14 years old getting drunk and getting stoned.
I don't think that it's probably, I view this as correlation, not causation type situation. There's a lot of people who had really great homes and didn't struggle with any kind of abuse or even absent parents,
Yeah.
and they were the ones that were hanging out with me and using the same substances that I was, I think that there's just a developmental period that people go through where they want to explore and they want to do it independently. And a lot of times substance abuse becomes a part of that. And it just becomes like just a tool for exploration. And I don't think
Yeah.
that it necessarily has to be because they've been harmed. I think that sometimes it is, but I think it doesn't necessarily mean that the kid was like broken by somebody or broken by some harsh circumstance or broken at all. Sometimes kids just like to do drugs. Like it's kind of just like a rite of passage type thing.
I
Whether
get
they
that. I know
continue
that.
to-
We know that. I
like,
mean,
whether they
I've
continue
known
to
people
usually-
who are living, but again, like we don't know everything. And this is the part that, I caution in terms of just, it's because it's very easy to say, oh yeah, they were perfectly adjusted. Maybe they fucking weren't. Like, the guy, like, it's a little morbid, but the guy who molested me was one of the guys, he was a sheriff's officer. He was a well-respected person in our community. His family life was admired by most of
No,
the
I know,
people
but
in
you
the
don't know
community.
what his home life was like. I'm talking about
Exactly
kids
my
whose
point.
home life I did know. Like
Well,
I
okay,
knew
but even then I'm
they were
saying-
close friends of mine, and I knew that they came from homes that were like just fine and
Like good
perfect,
homes,
totally
yeah.
well adjusted. Like everything was great for them, and they didn't have any complaints. And they still were using substances with me, who I didn't have that story, and some of the other friends.
The
I
only
knew
indication
didn't.
I know that this guy that I'm talking about, Phil, and his family, that there was anything bad happening in his family was that he was molesting me. That's how I knew he was bad. I think, and I don't know that anybody else did. Like I think like friends who came over to their house who were untouched got this very jovial, very kindred person in front of them in Phil, not the monster that I encountered. So it's just like I don't know how much of what we know isn't real, and I think that there's a lot of it. I think there's a lot of what we don't know when we see what we think to be a well-adjusted family. I think probably if you look at percentages, probably most of the people that you think have a well-adjusted life do, but there's going to be a percentage of people that you think have a well-adjusted life that do not, and and that can end up in things like people falling down or into traps like addiction or anger management issues, etc. All this sort of stuff.
Paris Jackson has not written a memoir, but there are several biographies and other books about her life. There's the Paris Jackson biography and Paris, the memoir. These are written by other people.
She hired people to write them, or like ghostwriters, or
Oh, Paris, the memoir. That is Paris Hilton. So this is how this AI.
I heard that's a good memoir.
This AI answer to my query doesn't know shit.
You say Paris Jackson? Yeah, well, yeah, for a change, right?
Because
I heard that Paris Hilton's memoir is really good.
Yeah, I heard so too. She was in the troubled teens industry that we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of like the kids raised by actors. I mean, those actors are so preoccupied by this life, that they have this life of being stars. And
Well, especially
working
Paris
sets
Hilton.
and-
She's a fucking heiress, so they're not gonna put up with any of her. Those types of people. They send away their kids to fucking boarding schools or whatever to get them shaped up so that they don't shame the family name or whatever. It's fucked up. There's this it is interesting how like the most like wealthy, connected, like supportive sort of families are the quickest to dispose of their children instead of like connecting with them. I know so many people who were like really, really poor, like super, super poverty poor, and they had the best childhoods because their parents like could be around and they were nurturing and caring individuals. But then you hear about somebody like Paris Hilton, right, who just got like sent away to a fucking boot camp
Who wanted
because her
it,
parents
got it, wanted it, got
didn't
it.
even want to ask how she was feeling.
Yeah. No, I know it is so amazing to see how parenting manifests itself in children's lives later. I just like I have a friend who I knew close enough that they raised their kids in a really toxic environment where the husband and wife were fighting all the time, the mom and dad.
Yeah,
They're just fighting all the time, constant fighting. Nobody's being abused, No one's but the kids, you could see it. You could
so
see it all
harsh.
You could see it all over their face. Like at one point, they had a young girl, and we were just hanging out at their house, and they were off doing or whatever, and she was looking really shitty, and I was like, "Hey, you okay? What's going on with you?" Because she looked so upset, and everything was fine. I was like, "You okay? You all right?" And she says, she just looks at me. She goes, "They fight all the time. It's all they do is fight." I hate it here.
I hate it here.
I hate it here.
That's what it's fucking like, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that person now grows up with this, and this condition that, you know, there is a scar, a PTSD level scar on this person. This poor kid was sitting there with this expression when there was an environment of nothing wrong going on. Like I was in the environment, and I'd been at that point in the environment for several hours.
No,
in fact, I think I was there overnight at that point.
Every single house where they, you know, there's this whole conservative movement to try and make sure that families have like two parents, right? And that you stay together and you never get divorced because for the sake of the kids, right? But every single one of those households is run by a dude who's like, or like a parent and a parental dynamic where the kids end up like this, where they don't feel comfortable or safe in their homes.
Yeah.
Like almost every kid I knew whose parents got divorced was relieved when it happened, you know?
Yeah, of course, if there's so much tension that it's breaking you.
They're like, fucking finally, we can have some fucking peace around here.
Yeah.
I was only bringing all that up.
There's that. I mean, there's more damage that comes with it. But anyway, it's a fascinating topic.
I was only bringing all that up because I was wondering what Paris Jackson's actual childhood experience was with her, you know, because obviously her dad was super busy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much they co-parented or whether they parented together or what, whether she had like a stable life. Obviously she had a ton of support when he passed. It was like his whole side of the family is enormous too. And so I don't know whether she was included or excluded or what. I'm curious. She should write.
Yeah. You know, if she hasn't already, I thought she did. Oh, that was Paris Hilton. She said, you're right. It would be probably a very fascinating memoir. But then again, you know, she might still be in the throes of trying to figure out her life. Who knows? She looks great. Like everything I see about her she seems really, you know, I don't know. She seems very healthy. I mean, you don't know. You're looking at pictures or whatever. Who the hell knows? But she looks gorgeous too. You know, she's really fucking beautiful. She's kind of, you know, hopefully hopefully her life will end up, you know, beautiful if it's not already. I guess we should probably pack it up. Do we have a comments that we should get through? Or have we been getting through them? Zohan is a part of DSA, so am I.
That's the Democratic Socialists of America.
Yeah. I mean, I'll join that. I'm a Canadian. Can I join it? I'm a socialist anyway. I mean, I was telling Angela today about how, you know, in Canada, in Manitoba, you know, there's no private car insurance companies. You buy from, everybody gets insurance from the government, the Manitoba Public Insurance Corporation, they call it, MPIC. It's a government-run insurance company. It's fine by me. You know?
Yeah.
But they, you know, they don't get away with, you don't get away with shit. There's no frivolous lawsuits on the insurance industry, and the insurance industry, and, you know, and they underwrite their own policies. So, you know, they do a fairly good job of keeping people off the road who ought to be off the road. It's not perfect. You know, Canadians bitch about all the shit that they get, but it's way better than the system we have now. It's just like here where it's just private insurance piling on top of each other. And they say it keeps the price down. But I feel like there's more colluding in this country than anything else. Yeah, personally. Sure. So anyway, socialist Democrats are. She's dreaming. The wave of the future, bro. The only way we get out of this is if we change our form of government. Or,
oh my God, I know.
If this
I know, it's
capitalism cannot last. It's impossible.
I mean, it has never been sustainable. Nobody ever expected it to be sustainable.
You know what's so interesting about that is when I first started paying attention to Bitcoin, which is about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I can't remember, not very long ago. But when I first started paying attention to it, there was this guy who took a company public, right? That means they put him on the stock exchange, went through an IPO, put him on the stock exchange. His company was healthy. It was making $75 million a year, but it had plateaued. So his company was earning enormous amounts of money with great margins, but the stock was pummeling because he wasn't increasing his earnings quarter over quarter. And so his shareholders were losing their shirt despite the fact that his company was healthy and great and making loads of fucking money. $75 million a year. He's like, we didn't need any more than that. It was a great company. You know, we had all these fucking people were getting rich. We had it all. He's like, but we went public. And as soon as we went public, there was this expectation for us that we had to grow now every single quarter, and we didn't know how to do it. So he took all of the profits and just bought Bitcoin. And he's like, we'll just ride the Bitcoin. And when that's up, the stockholders will get their fucking share. And when it's not, then that's how we'll go. And it's worked out incredibly well. He's the largest Bitcoin holder known Bitcoin holder.
Yeah, but do you see how he
today.
had to take the money out of his local ecosystem?
That's what he's saying, though. That's his point. His whole point is like, I had to take it out of this broken system.
Capitalism is an extractive system. Like, you can't actually sustain anything.
Yeah. So all he's doing is growing the company in assets and then using those assets as a means to report, increased value. And it's still a fucking mess. It's still a big pile of fucking shit, and he hates it. And it's like, it's what I felt about Netflix. Like when we look at all these different organizations, it was like Netflix had it all. You didn't have to go public. What the fuck did you go public for? So you could become a goddamn billionaire. That's the only reason you went public. If Netflix hadn't gone public, we wouldn't be seeing any commercials. We wouldn't be seeing any major hikes at all. They were making money hand over fist. The problem now is that they have to make more money than money over hand over fist because they have these obligations to stockholders that they didn't once have. And it's fucking, and it breaks the channel. And now we've got commercials on Netflix, an abomination, really, a real abomination. And they have tier plans now. So like, for example, It Ends With Us is on Netflix, but we can't watch it because we get our Netflix through our T-Mobile plan.
It's for the best. I'm
not going to fucking upgrade. Fuck you. I'm going to go rent It Ends With Us this weekend. Because I think we should watch it.
We should probably watch it.
Should probably fucking watch it. I think we might do It Ends With Us this weekend, along with Cosmic Urgency's great assignment.
We'll come back and be like, guys, our opinion has totally changed. Baldoni's actually a real sweetheart.
Right? Guys, I believe him.
He would never lie. Look at those pretty eyes.
You don't understand. Even when he was beating her, I was like, there's something good in him.
Something alluring.
We are already a mix of capitalism and socialism, and always have been, or we would have no public anything. That's not how it works.
It doesn't work.
That's not how it works.
You can't be a mix of two completely contradictory.
Well, you can because everything does.
You just can't. You can't be. Capitalism will not allow for them to concede anything to anybody's well-being or anything. It is an extractive system.
Yeah, the reason why
it only exploits, and it has to grow. And in a finite system, you just can't have that.
The reason why we're talking about is social services. That's not socialism. And social services were and have been created constantly as a means to try to offset the decay of capitalism. So it started with unemployment and unemployment came. There was no unemployment in this country, right? And then there was the Great Depression. And when the Great Depression happened, all these people went hungry, and there were soup kitchens everywhere because there was absolutely no money. When you lost your job, you lost all fucking income. And so FDR was it FDR? I think it was FDR. Whoever the fuck it was. I'm sure I've got my president wrong in there, but whomever the attorney was, the president was, they introduced unemployment insurance, right, in the following term or wherever it was, within the proximity of the Great Depression, as a means to try to insure Americans and keep them up. So that was a reaction to capitalism. So when you talk about that, you're talking about socialism or socialistic ideas coming in as a means to try and mend the problem. But that's not a hybrid of socialism. That's a Band-Aid. They're using socialistic ideas or socialist policies to repair the damage they're causing by their capitalism.
I think it's like saying like, oh, on that plantation, the slaves were actually treated really well. They had beds and they had food.
And they even got a little walking around money.
Yeah, and it's like you do that so that you can keep your labor force vigorous, because you need the labor force to be vigorous so you can exploit them.
Yeah.
But you're never actually going to give people what they need to be thriving, right? Because it's a fucking extractive system.
You can tell that we're not socialists or socialist Democrats because we have enormously out of control homeless rate, and we don't have.
You say we, you mean the
Americans?
US? Okay.
And Americans have I thought
you were talking about you and me.
And Americans have no health insurance.
Yeah.
And if you don't have health insurance.
I mean, there should
and
be
health insurance is the basic one, because I've
all.
said it before on this live and I'll say it again and again. Health insurance is a human right because they give it to prisoners. And the only thing they give to prisoners in this country is the bare minimum of everything. So we give them food, we give them shelter, and we give them health insurance. They get the medical attention that they need. And that's how you know that, we're living in a capitalist country. And that we're living in a capitalist country who uses socialistic ideals in order to enhance, the capitalistic cause. For example, health insurance being paid for by employers. So we're still getting the sort of socialistic aspect of it, meaning, well, we can't afford health insurance on our own. We cannot, as Americans, as just individuals, just go out and get health insurance. That's not capitalism. But capitalists are using it as a means to enslave workers, keep their wages low, and keep them tied to this incredibly dangerous thing, which is, a lack of or no health insurance if you're not a part of a corporate plan.
There's also a lot of corporate welfare.
Incredible.
So there's like the elite level of
Right.
of like corporate America definitely benefits from a socialist system. Like
They do.
what's his name? Sam Altman, sorry, that's his name. Sam Altman of AI was just talking about how it doesn't really matter whether his company fails because they'll just get
Bailed out.
They'll just get bailed out by the government.
Yeah, no.
So he's expecting all of the American taxpayers to pay for his corporation. That's socialism for them, but not for us.
Well, and it's not even really socialism because it's going oligarchical. It's going to the oligarch, right? So it's capitalism that they're feeding capitalists to do that. Means that's the whole trickle down idea. That's
It's a
the whole
kleptocracy,
keep them. It's a
right.
kleptocracy at that point. It's not a democracy or a social because remember that when it's social, it's for the people. It's not for the company. It's for the individuals. And that's what's not happening. I gotta go. You guys are the fucking best. It's 2 hours and 14 minutes. I thought today was gonna be like, what the fuck are we gonna talk about? And we're in overtime. I don't know how we do it. That's because you guys keep bringing up interesting topics. That's really what it's all about. Hope you guys had fun tonight. It was great to have you around. Hope you'll come around again tomorrow. May the wind be at your back. May you live every day with passion. Good night.